Good afternoon, everybody. We are back again with another ARML broadcast. Today we'll be visiting the B2 divisions, B1, B2, and possibly B3 as well. I'm Nathaniel, and I'm joined as well by Steve. How's it going, Steve?
I'm doing okay. Glad to be here, just having something to do with my afternoon because I took a sick day, so I've been home the whole day.
Nothing like a little bit of mahjong to get you feeling a little bit better. And of course, in the background, we've got Scott behind the controls, handling all of the behind the scenes work. So it's always a great broadcast when Scott's involved. And I'm really looking forward to seeing some of these players. We've got Lynn, Anya, Blaine, and Shane at this table today. And I know we caught a little bit of one of the earlier matches. This is going to be game number 3. And it looks like Shane has come off to an early second place in this division, followed by Lynn. And looks like the game is underway. Starting us off will be Lynn as first dealer. To the right, Smallmon is Blaine. Across the table, Slim Diz is Shane. And then to the left, Anya as Amadeus. Looking at the hands here, the door is the 3-so and 2 already in our dealer's hand. This looks like it could be a very expensive hand. Unfortunately, you kind of want to use that as a sequence. So we'll see how Lynn manages to work this hand around to use both of those. To the right, we've got a smattering of shapes, but nothing really concrete yet. 4 pairs. So we'll see if that turns into Chi-Toy or Toy-Toy or perhaps just a normal hand. Across the table, we've got potential Ipeco in the Pinzu, as well as a pair of the West, which is the Yakuhai for Shane. So perhaps a call and go for him. Maybe even Honitsu in the cards. And to the left, we've got a Dora in hand, a Yakuhai pair, although that's not going to count as Yakuhai because Anya is in the north seat. So perhaps a Pinfu pair. We'll see if we can get Ricci there too.
It's an interesting move from Lynn here, dropping the 9-mon. That pretty much allows it to be callable for Tanya if you get a 4-pin. And really, you could chi the 4-pin here and then drop the 2-so if you want to commit to not getting rid of those Dora.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think if I'm in Lynn's position, I'm trying to find a way to use both the Dora and win the hand as quickly as possible. And so I would certainly grab a 4-pin if it were to come out. As it is, the hand is Ishan 10 as well. So if you draw, one so or 4-so, do you drop a pair or do you just go Ricci dropping a Dora?
This is the chance to lock in the Dora pair, but it isn't the most efficient choice. But that works there.
Still some flexibility, and you can also wait with the Champone on the door as well if you were to draw the 6-pin.
And the hand on the right here is also Ishan 10 for Chi-Toy.
And you could also draw the 6-mon and think about turning it into a normal hand with Ipeco as well, though you probably just Ricci on the Hatsu if you were to find Tenpai. Across the table, that's Ishan 10 as well. And call the West for Tenpai, though would just be waiting on the 7-pin.
Right now, everyone is Ishan 10.
Well, if that's the case, then that should be Tenpai for Anya. Pulling in the 4-so, declares Ricci, Pinfu, potentially Ipeco on the 7-pin, and 1 Dora.
Each.
Chase, though, from Blaine on the right. Ricci, Chi-Toy, waits on the 6-pin. I'm always one to wait on Genbutsu. The 6-mon was safe against Anya, but chooses the safer route.
And now Anya has 2 tiles left, and Blaine has 1 at the moment.
2 versus 1, but the wall doesn't always favor the one with the more weights. It looks like our dealer is folding here. And across the table, Shane has also decided to discard the West pair, so probably not pushing too hard here. Oh, still Ishan 10. Really just a matter of who can find the right Pinzu tile. It doesn't look like anyone's pushing too hard from the players who have the ability to fold. Well, this is Tenpai now for Shane. But Pinzu looks so dangerous. Are you willing to drop the 5? For Ricci, Ipeco is willing to do so, and that does pass.
That weight is dead.
Oh! But the last 6 spin comes into the hand of Blaine.
Oof,
And so
as the two are up.
Ricci, Tsumo, Chitoi, Ura 2 for Hanemon. What a great start to the game for Blaine. And that is the power of Chitoi. Shortcut to Hanemon. As we move to Blaine's dealership. It looks like there's the makings of potential Chanta. The door is the 8, so and you can incorporate that with the sort of 7, 8, 9 shape. You could also make Ipeko in the upper Pinzu. To the right, we've got a pair of Hatsu and, well, makings of a 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku. In fact, we see a call already, so this could be Sanshoku, it could be Hatsu. We'll wait and see. There's a Hatsu call. So Ishanten now, going full greed. So this is going to be Hatsu, Chanta perhaps, and Sanshoku. Although with that second Haku being discarded, the likelihood of your pair being the white dragon is a little bit less likely.
Kind of a backfire there, but even if you kept the shapes and drew that, you'd be on a Tunky weight. So I don't know if you really feel too bad about that, and then just going for the value.
It's early on, you've just sort of took a little bit of damage from that Sumo, so perhaps wants to greed a little bit. And here we go. Senpai for Hatsu, Sanshoku, 2000. How are the other hands looking?
Gonna see a Honitsu push or just take Tenpai?
Just takes the Tenpai. Perhaps recognizing after 2 calls, Honitsu might be a little bit slow.
Wait on Dora. Throw away Adora, so it's not thrilling into that.
It'd be really interesting to see what happens if Shane does draw the Dora indicator, as that is not a tile you want to be throwing against Arichi. But you'd have to give up Tenpai if you want to hang on to it. So far, hasn't had to throw anything incredibly dangerous yet. Tumon was Suji tile, south is safe.
Yeah, just like that, there's another Dora. The Dora is not something I want to throw against.
Anya pushes her Ishanten and ends up dealing into what is 2 and 50 for dealer. Richidora 1. It's a nice pickup of 4,800. Plus you get your Richi stick back, and Blaine off to an excellent start now, already up to 48,000. And we're only in these 2. Starts out here with a hand that is a little bit more awkward, but does have a Dora north. So perhaps you could pair that up and increase the value a bit. To the right, there's also a north, but a hand that is perhaps a little bit better to start with, has much better floaters and already a completed sequence in the upper Pinzu. Across the table, we've got an Anko of the 7-mon, pair of the Dora north. So we can see all the Dora at the table here. Anya looking to go Richi here and win with the big value hand. And to the left, Lin with a very standard Pinhu-esque Haipai. Of course, ideal would be drawing the 7-mon there and complete that sequence right off the bat. And if you were Shane here, are you looking to call the Hatsu right away? Wonder.
The hand is you have to throw the north away to do that, most likely. You could wait north Tunky, but you got to throw away a block.
Right. Certainly not efficient.
And the north door is a little bit easier to toss away, like I was saying in the last hand, but the hand got 1, so I stopped commenting on it. Even if it's Suji, you really don't want to throw a Dora against a hand that's open like that, because it's just not... I mean, if they just threw away the middle tile because they wanted to keep a pair, then you're dealing into a Mangan if they're Shabo. Even if it looks like it's a Sanshoku, even if it looks like it's a Chanta, like, there's no guarantee of that.
We'll see if Anya has a choice here with 3 different Yamen shapes. Which one do you want? 3-4 pin, 3-4 so, or the 4-5 mon? Chooses to just Tsumugi the 5 mon. Do you, when you encounter that situation, do you look at the number of tiles that are out, or do you use some other indicator of which of the shapes to keep?
Honestly, that depends on what the shape is. Usually I look at the number of tiles, but if it's more outer versus more inner, that can make a difference too. In this case, the 4-5 is going to be harder to win in a lot of cases than like 3-4.
True. The tiles
twos are a little more loose, but 2 pin is also dying, so we'll see.
small backfire there with the 3-mon draw. But of course, you could have known that the 2-pin would be drawn by the other players and then immediately discarded. It's kind of interesting. We've seen a sort of hand shift from Lin, but we have Tempai for Anya. Ricci Dora 2, waiting on the 2-so, 5-so. Oh, an immediate chase from Lin as well. Ricci Pinhu waiting on the 5 and 8-so. 8-so would be
5-so, here's a double run.
Oh, and it comes out! I wonder if we'll get to see the other hand. Ricci. Let's see, this is the one across. Ricci Patsu Dora 2, and then Ricci Patsu Pinhu for the hand on the left. So that would have been 3,900.
It's a big hit that shakes this game up.
It certainly does. Well, Blaine still has the lead, but it's certainly not the commanding 48,000 that we saw a while ago. And so we move to Shane's dealership, and we've got Tune pair, a door in hand, a couple pairs, so perhaps a call and go type situation, or perhaps you pair up the door and aim for Chitoy. You move to Toy Toy. To the right, we've got potential to incorporate the Dora 3-mon as well. Complete the 1-2 shape there. Itsu probably not in the cards here, so Ishan 10 already. Across the table, we have a Hatsu pair, and also reasonable shapes. Probably not going to be a ton of value here unless you can declare Ricci. And then to the left, Blaine has already called the 2-3-4, so this looks like a Tanya push. With the 2 door in hand, that makes sense. There's a nice fill with the 7-so from Shane. His hand now 2 away from Tempai. We saw a Hatsu call across the table for Lin as well, but Ricci on the right, it's Anya. Ricci waiting on the Dora 3-mons for Ricci Dora 1. Would be 2,600 barring any.
You're gonna have to sumo the last one on the wall here.
Yeah, hard to imagine the 3 is gonna come out from anyone here. We see Shane drawing the 3rd tune, so potential. And of course, across the table, we saw Lin call that 7-pin. Lose to Tempai waiting on the 6 and 9-mon.
Yes, and it's Otozuke, so only the 6-mon will do here. Or not 6-mon. I'm talking about the hand on the left there. Sorry, they're Tempai as well. 6-9 so.
And now dealer goes Ricci as well. So everyone Tempai here. 1-4 is the weight. 1-4 mon for the dealer. Ricci Tune Dora 1. That's certainly expensive. And now Blaine with that tough decision. Can you drop the 3-so here? Oh, and rewarded for pushing it. The 6-mon comes out from Anya. So Tanya Dora 2, 3,900 plus picking up 2 Ricci sticks. That's a big win for Blaine, who now moves back over 40K. And the fight for second place is still super tight as we move to east for Anya's first dealership. These shapes look a bit awkward here.
Yeah, they certainly don't look great. We've already had a call of west by Blaine.
Blaine looking to just close things out quickly here. Call the tune to the left as well.
If I was anybody at this table other than Blaine, I'd be trying to figure out how to get back over 30K first, and then worry about the rest of the game.
Right. Ishan 10 for Shane. Do you drop 1-2 or 6-8 here? Just choose the 1-2. Thinking that perhaps Shane will end up using the 6-so as the pair in this hand.
Well, you can also draw a 5-mon here and drop both the 2 and the 8, and then have the 5-6-6-6 as your 3-sided weight at the end.
Yep, nice 3-sided. Oh, chooses
That's
to.
an interesting choice there.
Yeah, it certainly makes the Monzu shape easier to fill, but final weight's a little bit trickier. Would have been able to call that 7-so perhaps for Tempai, although you'd have a Kanchan to fill there.
Yeah, I prefer to keep just a 3-tile round con rather than make it 4 tiles.
Mm-hmm.
So then the choice would have been 2 or 8, and you can go either way.
the right, we see a hand that is 2 away from Tenpai, potentially Peiko there. You could even find Tanya, although this 9-pin, probably not super helpful unless you're shooting for Yan Peiko.
Now it says Chitoi Ishanten again.
Yeah, that is another
Lots of
possibility.
Chitois so far.
Perhaps if you were desperate to win that hand, you'd even call the 8, drop the 9 pair, and aim for Tanya, but the desperation is not there just yet, and you're Chitoi Ishanten, so.
Boom.
There's the call of the East. That's another Yakuhai for Blaine. 2 Yakuhai in the pocket, still lacking a pair, headless right now.
1 4-pin weight for Shane there.
This would just be tune only.
Boom.
Oh, the 4 comes out right away. So we see the 1,000 points from Shane. This moves him up to 2nd place. Just barely, though, by 100.
Extremely tight, 400 points separating 4th and 2nd.
So we move into the South round. And I always think about this like, once you make that shift from East to South, where have the standings changed? What have I done the first half? What do I need to accomplish in the second half? And for everyone except for Blaine, it is make it over 30K. And we see Lynn with the first chance as dealer to do so. A reasonable start. You've got, I guess, all the shapes you need. They're just very awkward shapes. A couple of penchant now that are a little bit tricky to fill. To the right, the shapes look a lot better here, and filling that Conchon right off the bat is awesome for Blaine. Across the table, we've got a Dora 4-mon in hand, and reasonable shapes here for Ricci Dora 1. To the left, we've got Anya, who is aiming for Pingfu. Also has a Dora in hand. Really love to just pair up the Dora, and then you've got your Pingfu all set. We see a little bit of trouble as Shane has drawn a second copy of the Hatsu, and now Blaine and Shane are Mochi Mochi on that Green Dragon.
The interesting thing with Anya's hand is if she gets a 6-0, what she's going to do. Because then the Sanshoku's in the cards. But there's the Dora pair, so that definitely displays the hand for you.
Yeah,
Can't argue with that value, just going for it.
Absolutely. I guess there is a world where you need, Baimon or something, and then you try to aim for the 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku as well. But at this point, the hand just plays itself. Can anybody catch up? We saw Blaine was Ishanten. Just needs the Dora for the ideal weight.
Lynn is Ishanten here as well. It's not going to have a good weight.
Guaranteed bad weight Ishanten doesn't feel good, but you are dealer. You even drop. Ooh, this is actually kind of interesting.
Yes, I agree with that. I was going to say I would drop the 9-0 here, because then a 6-0 still allows you to make the 5s into a pair and then try to get a Sanshoku that way. I know I might be sounding like I'm focusing on Sanshoku a lot here, but there are just a lot of ways to get it.
Given that we are this far into the row, would you consider calling that 6-mon and forcing the Sanshoku? It looks like
you certainly could. I think the more cautious or slower play here is because of the Dora acceptance with the 3-5 Kanchan.
Sure. Oh, and draw the 6 anyway. This is Tenpai.
Kanchan on the Dora.
Yeah, we saw an early committal to discarding that 7, so ends up finding Tenpai. So I guess that's a payoff. Ricci Dora 1. There's one more 4-mon in the wall. Blaine breaks the Ipatsu. And Anya has been sitting here waiting to draw into Tenpai for a while now, has not managed to do so.
Chi.
There's a call for Tenpai across the way. Atozuke waiting for the Hatsu is Shane, however, sitting in Blaine's hand. Now, if Blaine decides to fold, might choose to discard the Hatsu, but so far hasn't had the need to. And there's Tenpai for Anya. Dama-ten. And now Tenpai for Blaine, should he choose to accept it. Does discard the 3-mon.
Was quite a bold maneuver there. And Anya just keeps shifting things around, playing it safe. All 4 players Tenpai.
That's incredible. And as we noted at the beginning, the Mochi Mochi situation with the Hatsu does come back to bite Blaine and Shane, neither of them able to win their hands as a result. But we get another dealership, and the point situation has not changed. We just add another Ricci stick and a Honba. I guess Lin has 1,000 fewer points, so that has changed, but the pots increases a little bit. This hand is much better for Lin, who, despite having maybe the worst high pie to begin that last hand, was the only person to declare Ricci, and now has an easy chance to make Tanyao here. To the right, though, Blaine calls the Chun right off the bat, and we see a Ricci across the table on the 3rd discard.
Infu Takame Ipeko.
Waiting 5-8 so. See 4 left in the wall at this point. Oh, and another one now drawn by Blaine, so only 3 in the wall.
Gee.
But this would be a massive hand, and Anya deals in after finding Ishantem. Just Ricci Pinfu. But that's 2,000 plus the 300 from the home mob, plus the 2 Ricci sticks, well, one of which was your own. So now Shane grabs a little bit more space in second place and almost over 30k at this point. Kind of unlucky to not hit Ura or the Takame there, but we see Blaine now dealer, chance at Sanshoku, 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 4, and probably Pinfu as well. Right, we've got...
is the Dora, and no one is holding any of them.
Yeah, we are in the south round, so that is actually really important. Anybody could call the Dora for a Yaku and have an instant Mangan. And Shane on the right does call the Haku. Is Ishanten right now.
Very big interest in even winning 1,000 points here just to get over 30k. Staying there is another thing, but...
Yeah, make it over 30k, and then you're a dealer, and you could even fight for first from that position. Across the table, this hand also looks very nice. Potential for Ipeko and just good Pinfu or Tanyao odds as well. And to the left, we've got another great hand. So it looks like all of the high pie are very strong. Pinfu potential here as well. Ishaten already. Ooh, and another good pickup for Blaine, who's got a lot of options here. This is Ishanten, wants to make 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku at this point. The 2-pin is a small upgrade for Shane, as now you can call the 1-pin in addition to the 4-pin. Of course, neither likely to leave Blaine's hand at this point.
We are now 1 row in, and no one has drawn Dora yet.
Yeah, where is the South Wind? If it was the 1-pin, I would say the dead wall, but we've seen many times in the ARML in the past someone waiting on the 1-pin, and you see 3 or 4 in the dead wall.
It's kind of funny you say that, because I have an anecdote about double Ricciing a pin, Chitoy waiting on that, and all 3 were in the dead wall. Or is it with the 1-pin too?
Was that at the recent New York tournament, or was that somewhere else?
That was years ago.
Okay. Something about the 1-pin and being in the dead wall just always seems to come up. Well, oh, that's a great draw now. Unfortunately, you're on a Tonki wait if you are Lin. Does not declare Ricci as a result, wants to find something better.
Gee.
Everybody's just been mostly Simulgiring. Okay, Anya calls, giving up waiting.
Yeah, desperate to just end this. I mean, at this point, you expect someone's got to be.
Now we see the Ricci for the South Dora Tonki.
First one drawn. So all 3 of the remaining South are in the wall. And
you can cut the 1-mons here for the Tanyao potentially, but it's still going to be a hard draw.
Chooses the 3 instead.
Safe tiles, yeah. I guess you have the lead.
Exactly. Oh, would
Oh,
be Tenpai.
I don't fault the carefulness either. I probably wouldn't have thrown the 3. I probably would. I mean, I probably wouldn't have thrown the 1 anyway, even though that's what in our infinite wisdom here and being able to see the whole board.
Actually, 1 is completely safe. We can see a copy of the 2, and the other 2 ones are discarded. But it's
Oh, good
definitely
point.
hard.
I'm not paying
Definitely.
attention to the board, if you can tell.
Right. This is something the players probably have a better chance at noticing this because we're looking at everything. But oh, there's the south, and this is where caution will pay off. Oh,
Wrong.
oh no! Well, the south will deal into
Light
Ricci Dora
Dora.
2, and that's 5,200. Still Blaine not out of first place, so we'll move to south 3. Yeah, I gotta always keep an eye on what the Dora tile is. Usually, honor tiles are pretty safe against a Ricci. However, that is lessened if the honor tile is a Dora, and lessened
And
further if
it's
that,
the round wind there. Too.
yeah, further if it's the round wind, and further if it has not been discarded yet.
We've got a good starting hand here for Shane. It's got Ipeco chances, Tanyao, Pinhu. Just see how it goes.
It's just exactly what you're looking for as dealer if you want to repeat and make up some ground. To the right, well, that's a nice pickup, and that also has maybe Sanshoku Chance or just Pinfu. Has a Dora Forso as well. Across the table, also Tanyao type tiles until you draw that 1. So, but now you've got Ipeco, Pinfu Chance. Even there's a world where you can make 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. And then to the left, we've got an Anko, the 1-mon, a couple other pairs. That hand is Yishatem. Of course, you want to be able to use the Dora here, but it might be awkward given that we can see 3 of the 5 so are in the other hands.
Each.
And there it is, fast Ricci from Shane. Which weight will he choose?
6-pin gives you Pinhu here.
And then 3-pin is the smaller weight for Ipeco. Probably you want the Pinfu route.
They're both worth 1 Han, so
Pick the one with a wider weight, right? And that's indeed the choice that Shane makes. 2-5, waiting for Ricci Pinfu. You can
Each.
see, a chase from Lin. Waiting on 1-4, so for Ricci Pinfu as well. Either win would give you an extra Han. The 1 so would give you Ipeco. The 4 would give you a Dora. A lot fewer of those tiles available, it looks like. In fact, only one so and 1 4 so left. Now the Pinzu weight, the 2-5.
is much more live. There's only 4 of them out, so half of them still remain. 4 counting the one that's already in Shane's hand, that is.
See 2 of the 2-pin left and 1 of the 5. Oh, but that last 5 is drawn by Lin, and it does come out because Lin was had declared Ricci. So Ricci Pinfu, only 2,900 as we don't see any Uda here. But that is a nice pickup. Pushing Shane over 30k finally, and now within 4,100 of matching Blaine's score for first. So we could enter South 3, repeat 1. Also a Tanyao type hand here. Could be very fast. Can incorporate the Dora 5 so as well. To the right, this looks a little bit more awkward to complete. Just looking to find better tiles to stick around to some of these floaters. Across the table, we see a pawn of the east. What's going to happen here? Honitsu, maybe? Yeah, it looks like a Honitsu play, as the east is not a Yakuhai here. At 8 so is a good pickup for that attempt. I guess you could go Chanta as well, but that would involve dropping the Dora 5 so, and I
I was
think
wondering what was going to be dropped there, because I've almost... Very good draws coming into this hand, but I would have almost considered cutting nothing but Pinzu for the rest of the row, at least, and making them not know what suit this Honitsu is in.
Yeah, you see nothing but Pinzu, you think, all right, it's got to be Honitsu, but which Honitsu? And that puts a lot of question marks to the player on your left.
That 4-mon does kind of tell a lot.
And speaking about the left, it is Blaine on the left who's got a pair of the south, who might also be thinking about Honitsu, but in the Manzu instead. Could also just call for a faster hand here. Oh, but does discard the 2-pin, so that does seem like you're aiming for Honitsu. Interesting grab of the 2 there from Shane for Tenpai here. Probably needed to call that because he was 30-10 on the 258.
ポン
He got away from being Otozuke now, 2-7, so 2-7 Mon Shabo.
Oh, but then draws the
Ugh.
4. How unfortunate. Of course, there were calls that happened and might not have drawn the might not have gotten the 4. I think it would have gone to Anya, who would have retained it in hand. So
Well, the 2 is looking awfully spicy. Like, it's really hard for everyone to use.
yeah, Lynn across the table would always drop it. Anya might even drop it out of her hand, though she looks like she wants to make 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku. Manzu are a little bit hard to discard against what Blaine's putting together here, but the 9-pin goes, and Blaine is not Tenpai yet.
No, it's that awkward pair of 1s, pair of 3s, pair of 5s.
Yeah, looking at Lynn's hand, of course, the Dora is not really usable by the dealer or Blaine on the left. So let's see, there's one more left in the wall somewhere. If they were to draw it, could get awkward. And will this be Tenpai? It does. That 8-mon does get dropped. Which weight do you like? Chooses the
probably
1-mon.
Tatsu, because it's twice cut, and the hell weight will actually come out. If we're
Oh, it
supposed
did
to
come
one.
out.
ポン
You're certainly gonna throw that, right? I mean, you're not Tenpai yet, though.
ロン
The hand just has so much value for Lin. It feels worth pushing, and it does come out deal into Shane's one hot hand, so 1500.
Probably cheaper than Lin expected,
Right?
just given the staring down the Honitsu with the Yakuhai.
Yeah, I remember there was a little bit of a discussion about Tonki weights and hell weights in the ARML chat, and it is always so uncomfortable waiting on a tile that you know there's only one left and could be in the dead wall. But for that reason, it also makes it a very strong weight. It's unlikely that other players are going to hold on to it. And I was kind of thinking, what is the boundary between, the number of tiles remaining that players will never discard versus one that will guaranteed be discarded.
I'd have to go back and look at the log of that one, but was there a 1-mon in the pond already? Was it a 2-tile weight, or was it all 3?
Yeah, it's very, very interesting. I'm not,
because it's one of those things where like you've called 3-mon and nothing happens. Like, so why are people like, if I was not your Kamicha there, I would be trying to get rid of my 1 and 2-mon if I didn't want them, if I didn't think they'd deal in.
Absolutely. Quite interesting. Might be interesting to look back on that later. But we see Shane with the early Ricci. Ricci no Mi, but your dealer, you can put the pressure on, especially given that Blaine has already made a call. And Blaine starts perhaps a folding process with the 6. Could find himself back in
Usually these outer tile Shabos can be pretty strong, but we have to take note that the 9-mon is right next to the Dora here, so.
It is Suji, though, to the 6-mon that was discarded earlier.
G.
And Blaine does, in fact, take Tenpai. Oh, wait, that's not Tenpai. I assumed if a call was going to be made, it would have been on the 1 or 4. So still throwing away the Banzu. In fact, aiming for Honitsu, but we see a Ricci across the table. Ricci Tanyao. Waiting on the 4-7 pin.
ポン
4, of course, is safe to the dealer reach, but not the second one. Oh, there's the 9. And that will deal in Ricci no Mi so far. Wanura makes this hand 3,900 points. And Shane keeps climbing, has now surpassed Blaine for first.
This is another spicy hand. It starts instantly with the Dora. Pawns it.
Gets the call immediately. And so this could be the hand that just breaks it apart. 12k already. Just got to finish it. And the blocks are there. They're just weak. Penchon will probably be maneuvering that around a little bit. who can fight against this? Of course, if you're the other players at this table, you're not expecting the hand to be Tenpai just yet. And so you're probably thinking, I need to just win any hand as soon as possible, not let this player get too far ahead. Anya is actually pretty close to away from Tenpai. Across the table, Lin probably will have a tougher time of things. To the left, Blaine has the opportunity to call the south and speed the hand along. And here's your chance. Thinking, counting pairs, Snot Chitoy. I guess if you call the south, you lose your safety against what the dealer is doing here. Speaking of which, Shane does grab a 7-pin, which fills that one of the weak Penchant shapes, so is now Ishanten. Pretty wide Ishanten as well. This is Tenpai. Shampoo weight on the 1-pin and 2-mon. Seems pretty strong here. You'd expect the 1-pin to come out pretty easily. But Blaine calls the 8-pin into Tenpai, waiting on the 6-mon for south only. If the other players knew that was the weight, they might intentionally deal in. Oh, Shane can switch the weight to 1 for 7 here. Or drop the 3. Oh, but throws it right back out, and Blaine, with a 1,000 point...
A huge drawn, it just changes the place. The direct hit of 1900.
And that feels so bad for Shane, who was seeing stars, could see the potential first place, over 50k, something along those lines. Instead, we move into South 4, and now we have a real battle for first. Only 600 separates Shane and Blaine. But it's Anya who's the dealer, with some work to do, and fairly good high pie as well. Already Ishanten from the start, although the weight isn't going to be good should you find Tenpai. Let's see, who can match the speed? To the right, we've got, well, some awkward shapes. Kanchan, Penchant, Kanchan.
Riichi.
And there's the Riichi from Anya. Chooses to wait on the 5-mon, interestingly. Potential to create a Nakatsuchi trap in the future, should an 8-mon be drawn and discarded.
Each.
Oh, but there's a chase on the left from Shane. It's just a 3-pin. Riichi only. But this would be enough to overtake for first place. So 3-pin versus 5-mon. Each of the players who has declared Riichi is holding the other's winning tile, and the remaining 3 are all on the wall for both players. Lin has some reason to push here, has found Ishanten, and from 4th place, you might just have to fight. I guess if you are Lin, you might hope that Anya deals into Blaine deals into Shane for a large hand. But seems to be willing to fight here. Ishanten still. And with that 5-mon draw, there's only 2 of the winning tiles for Anya in the wall. We did see the 8-mon come out, though, from Lin, so the Nakatsuchi trap is live. And as far as the 3-pin is concerned, we still have not seen those. For Blaine, you are technically in first right now, so you don't have to do anything. However, if you know that if Shane wins, you will be in second, and if Anya wins, we will be going another round, so that might give you a little bit of incentive to fight.
You'll be going another round from second place because of the Tenpai payment.
Oh, there's the Tsumo though. As that confirms first place for Shane Riichi. Tsumo Ura 1. 1,000, 2,000. Blaine will grab second. Anya third, and Lynn in fourth place here. We saw some pretty large hands and a double roam. That was a pretty exciting game. And we'll have one more to come. We'll look for the updated standings. Shame now claims first place with 2 victories and a third place. We'll be aiming to push that lead a little bit farther, as we are still early on in the first round of the summer season. Lynn and Anya and Blaine all kind of sitting around the same area at the bottom, simply because most of the players haven't played yet and are sitting at zeros in the middle. All right, we see the big standings here. The league standings, rather. Steve, have you had the opportunity to play any of your matches yet?
No, we will be playing them tomorrow, I believe.
Tomorrow. Well, hopefully we'll get a broadcast for those. I think in the last season, in the spring, you were the player that got broadcasted the most. I think you had something
that's
like...
a good or a bad thing.
Well, it's at least a sign that people like to watch you play. And I also have not had the opportunity to play for my matches. They will begin next week, I believe. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what the A1 division is like and getting to play against you in the future.
Yeah, we don't play until the 5th session, but we may be playing those early from what I've come to find out with the scheduling things.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if we end up playing those sooner or later. But it looks like they're not actually going to be playing the 4th game for this table, so we'll be moving things along to another one once that starts. And what do you say? It looks like there is a B3 game that has been going on for a while. We'd also hang out for a few minutes for the next B1 match to start. What do you think, Steve? You have a preference?
Not particularly. I can do either.
Well, I am kind of curious to see some of these B3 matches. There are some new players here, players who I have only seen in the chat. It is a 5-player table. But I believe they will also be playing a lot of games right now.
Yeah, we just got a notification that the B1 table will be 15 minutes, so 20 before we see it if they're starting in 15.
Well, in that case, let's just hop right in. It looks like already a victory. We'll see what round we're in. South won, so we'll probably end this game before the next one starts. That's perfect. And as the names get adjusted, I know I recognize Creed across the table. I believe that's Brian. None of the other players... Oh, wait. To the right, I believe that's Jian. But for the other two, I'm not familiar. Oh, Jacob across is Creed. And we are in South 1 with Shikia as our dealer. Starting off with a pretty nice high pie. I'd be certainly pleased to have this as a dealer. Can aim for Pingfu or just Ricci here. Might end up using the 9 pen as your pair if you can complete the 1-2-3 shape. To the right, this looks a little bit more Pingfu-esque. With the Dora, you'd like to use that. The 2-3-5-7-8 shape is so awkward when the 5 is the Dora. It's sort of inefficient to hang on to that, but you want to draw the 4 or the 6 to incorporate that into your hand, and you just don't know which one you're going to draw, so you end up keeping all of it. Across the table, that hand is already Ishan 10 for Jacob. And then to the left, we've got a lot of Pinzu tiles. but still hasn't made a commitment one way or another. Could end up just being Tanyao here, especially with Adora in hand. Starts out with the Haku, so looking more like a Tanyao here. Not much progress made for our dealer. In the meantime, and interestingly, across the table, Jacob has taken the opportunity to switch out to a Pinfu,
1
discarding the 4-pin. Can now draw around that Manzu shape or the Sozu shape for Tenpai. Might even drop the other 4-pin here and hang on to that east for safety. Or you can hang on to that 4-pin and hope to draw a Dora. And in this case, chooses to hold on to that opportunity to incorporate a Dora into the hand. We see Tenpai on the left,
1
waiting on the 4-so, but Ricci from dealer, Ricci, Tanyao, Ipeko, waiting on the 3-so, and that is immediately drawn by Jian, who is not willing to discard it just yet. In fact, this might end up being a
And
fold.
that's the last one too. So unless one of the players drops it, it's not coming out.
Question marks now for the player to the left. Are you willing to push 6-pin? It's next to Dora. It's so difficult to do, but that does come out.
Hard to justify not just pushing your Tenpai because they don't have anything that's safe anyway.
Also interesting to see that Jacob across the table had chosen to throw the 4-pin as well. That's true. When you have Tenpai and you have nothing safe, sometimes the best defense is just offense, even though it's a kind of awkward wait. Just waiting on a 4-so.
And the only tile in that hand that is any defensive value is the 6. The extra 6 you had to throw is half Suji. The 5-so is half. There's only half Sujis. There's nothing more.
4
But it pays off. Tanyao Dora 1 to the left, and we'll move on to South 2. By the way, that is Ryan, who is on the left, and Jingwu is our dealer. Or was in the last round.
Will we see a double Ricci on the right here? No.
Always fun to see one of those.
That's it's just sad because I get excited when I can double Ricci, and I've been playing a long time.
We see the Dora is the Hatsu, one in the dealer's hand, one across the table. We've got reasonable shapes for the dealer. Probably not thinking about Honitsu, rather Ipeko or just Ricci here. It's kind of awkward that you have that dragon as the Dora, and the ever-present question, how long do you hang on to it? And for these players, it seems like they'll maintain a grasp of that Hatsu for at least the first row. With the extra Pinzu draw, we move to Ishanten for Jacob on the right. Question marks. Do you greed for Dianpeko? And the answer is baby. We'll see if Jacob can draw into it. Would you choose the 8-7 discard there?
Home.
No, I would have cut a 3-so.
Okay. Well, finds Tenpai, waiting Champon on the 3-so and the Chun. Of course, you need the Chun to win in this situation.
Because
And
if you drop the 3-so here and then you draw your Yanmen 7-8, then you can Ricci and you're on a Chun, once cut Chun and a 1 chance 2 Shabo, so it's pretty strong.
Is there a world where you would call out of Tenpai and aim for Toy Toy? Say
1
if the 3 came out, 3-so.
1
Oh, we see it Ricci.
Home.
No, not anymore. Apparently they well that works because it's safe.
Yeah, it does break Ipatsu, and it gives you 2 tiles of safety. The Ricci on the left is Rich Pinfu, potentially Peiko on the 5 mon.
This is one of those situations where you can always probably throw the tunes away anyway, so I don't really mind the try.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
1
surely it has to be Tenpai for the dealer. Does declare Ricci is looking at the weight. Looks like a 6-9,
No.
and it comes right out. Ricci Patsu, 3,900 for the dealer. And we move into a dealer repeat for Jian. It looks like the north is the door up, and my eyes immediately go to two different places, the left and across the table, where we see double Yakuhai pairs. Well, I guess for the left, the east isn't going to be value, but that's a bunch of pairs in that hand. Already 4, and then the tune got called immediately. Oh, north comes out quickly. And I'll bet Ryan was hoping that north would stay in the wall a little bit longer to be drawn. And now the east is called immediately. So hoping to just win something and move things along, perhaps. Maybe even work towards Toi Toi or Honitsu. Plenty of options for that hand. Dealer looking for more like a standard Ricci here. Potentially Ricci Pinfu now, as you've got all of your Dianmen shapes in a pair of 6 mon. And then to the right, you could shift towards Tanya, perhaps. Indeed, does so with the 1-so discard. We'll drop the 2-so soon as well. And here's another Dora. Unlikely to be used in this hand, but we have other tiles that are not efficient to hold on to, so it does hang on to it for the moment, hoping to draw another one. And we see the call into Tenpai, waiting on the south to the left. Ishanten across the table as well. Unfortunately, that Haku's sort of acting as the pair right now. But I imagine if the third one were to be discarded, you'd call that an enter headless Ishanten.
We left Tenpai for a Honitsu greed.
And can call... Oh, doesn't choose to call for Tenpai there. Wants max value with the south wind.
Also leaves behind us a pretty undesirable shape of this Con 6-so where you've already used one.
Right. See, that north is just acting as a safe tile here, as we see the other 3 have been discarded at this point. And there's the south wind. So it will be a 4-7 wait. Taking a moment to count and make sure that all 3 of the norths are really discarded. And given the third call has been made, perhaps the Hatsu doesn't come out anymore.
It's not Tenpai anyway, so you can always do something else.
And of course, you would love to make Shousangan here, or even Daisangan. We haven't seen any of the Hatsu at all, have we?
No, that is still possible.
Oh my goodness, I didn't even realize it. Okay. Are you willing to push 5 here? Yes! Ryan sees the possibilities. And a call to the right, we see Tanyao Tenpai, 2-5 pin is the weight, but all the 2s have been discarded, so just the 5 pin. Oh, there's the Tsumo. And we see South, Honitsu for 340. And that's a nice pickup. That makes the battle for 3rd and 4th really tight here as we move into South 3. Oh, the dreams of Shousangan and Daisangan.
Now we have a good hand for the dealer here. Three Ryanmen, like complete. Could be a weird Shabo, or see what happens with it.
Well, look at Toyman. This is incredible.
Toyman could be having Ryuiso greed, I think.
Drop 3-pin, even though you got Hatsu Toi Toi. Oh, there's Honitsu possibilities as well if you want it. Doesn't seem to be so inclined. I would love to see you.
If I
So
was
that's
if I was in that situation, the second I drew a 6 or a 3, I'd just be like, out go the Pinzu, out go the Haku.
well, here we see a Ricci, and there's some decision here. 5 Mon gives you Pinshu, but instead chooses the 2-5 weight. There's no Sanshoku here. Oh, and there's the 5. And that would have given you that Sanshoku chance.
Weight's a little interesting, so 2 of those were cut already.
Yeah, it was awkward also because even the 1-4 wasn't amazing either. Two of the 1 Mon out, and then you could see 3 of the 4, so nothing was really super good. Probably why there was so much hesitation there, but an immediate Ricci from Jian, waiting for 4-7. So for Ricci Pinfu. Unfortunately, that hand is also 1 tile off of making Sanshoku as well. Oh, did I mention Tanyao? Ricci Tanyao Pinfu. And unfortunately, the Yuiso Dreams not going to happen here. Tiles coming out very quickly now. The 2 players being Ricci, that makes sense. The other 2 players defending very rapidly as well. Now decision point.
Wrong.
The 2 does come out. It was Suji to 1 player, but not safe from the other. And that 2-5 weight does end up pulling it out with an Uradora, so 2600. And Ryan moves to first. Benefited by the Ricci stick from Jian, and we are in South 4. So if you are Toyman at this position, you can win with 1,000 and grab first place with just 1,000. Even a Dama Pinfu would be enough. For the dealer, you of course want to win and increase your lead a little bit, but you wouldn't mind if 3rd or 4th hit a hand off of each other to secure your first place. And this hand is a little bit awkward for dealer. You might, with so many Kanchan and Penchan shapes, you might be thinking about forcing a Tanyao, but if you try to do that, then your safety is limited. So it's a really awkward position to be with this tight score line. Do you just would you just look at this hand and play it kind of normally, or would you try to hold some safety?
I think I would try to hold a little bit of safety. It really depends on who Ricci's, because if Jacob Ricci's, then it's like 3,900 point deal in is only is enough to like not kill you, not lose your second place, and you all stay over 30k. But if like 4th place Ricci's, then I'm like, no, I'm just gonna back away because you don't want to deal into that because you know it's probably got value. At least I would assume. Like everyone has a goal in mind. And it's usually this early in the season, it's not going to be just stay in 4th and recover some points. Like that's not really what people are. I don't think what people are going to do this early.
We see door is not going to be a factor here. At least it shouldn't be. 2 have been discarded already, so incredibly unlikely that someone is able to make use of it. That being the west wind, of course. And as we are entering the 2nd row, you'd expect someone to be Tenpai or very close to Tenpai. Across the table, we see a chance at an Itsu for Jian. To the right, we've got a hand that is Ishanten. Excuse me. Dian Shanten. But to the left, we see Ricci. And so here we go. That's the 3rd place player, rather, who's declared Ricci Tanyao. Waiting for
the isn't even enough without Urat, so.
Ricci Tsumo Tanyao.
Ricci Tsumo Tanyao would be 4,000.
And you get the Ricci stick back.
Yes, that would be
enough to put you over 30k.
Wait on the single remaining 5 mon though.
As far as he's concerned, he thinks there's 4 left, but we know that there's only 1 of those tiles remaining in the wall. Jian might have reason to fight this, as they're Ishanten, with a callable hand as well. Should, for example, the 6 still come out, we call that for Tenpai.
Funny that Jacob hasn't really discarded any Monzu, even though he has the fewest number of Monzu in his hand. So I think the other players are getting a little bit spooked. You can just see them piling up all these Monzu.
Right. And there's the break of the 7-5 shape from Jian. Can also make Ipeco now.
But if you're a dealer here, you also, I'm considering if I just don't stay in Tenpai, am I going to lose the lead?
Right. Oh, and there's the 8. Will deal in. And that was there Ura? No Ura. So that doesn't quite do it for Jacob, although that was certainly an excellent try. I think if there was Ura, that would actually be Gyakuten.
Be second place Gyakuten, and it would have dropped Jian below 30k.
It would have. So
200.
quite fortunate for Blank there that there was no Ura. And we end up with Ryan grabbing a first place here. Jian second. Jacob third. Jinwoo fourth. A pretty reasonable game, all things considered. Nobody really pulled ahead too far, and no one fell behind too much. Tightly contested all the way through. And so I believe that was the first of, well, 5 games that we played at this table, because this table has 5 players. So each round, one player will sit out, or each game, Hanshan, one of the players will sit out.
That was the second game of the 5, I believe.
Oh yeah, looking at the
So
scoreboard
Jocelyn's
now.
at the table as well.
You're right. And we see Jocelyn with the lead, took a first place in that first match. And with the first place here, Ryan now grabs second in this B3 division. All right, well, it looks like our B1 match has gotten underway. And another match at this table has started. We'll do a quick adjustment. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing that B1 table. But it was really nice to stop by B3 for a little bit. And I'm hoping that we'll be able to watch some more of their games in the near future. Now for the B1 table, I know there are quite a few players from the B2, I believe it was the B2 Beta League last season. There is Travis, Michael, and Philip, who were all promoted out of that division. And then Sarah is the lone player who retained their B1 status from the previous semester. And I remember watching I believe it was one of the last games, if not the last game of the spring season, where Sarah managed to barely retain that positioning in B1. So it was certainly an exciting finale.
Yeah, I was doing commentary on that one with Max. It was quite something to watch because it was down to the wire.
Yeah, it was. I think it came down to the last hand, even. At least one of the positioning.
Yeah, there was a situation for a while there where a player not even in the game was worried about demoting. They both went up.
Certainly wild things happen at the end of every season. It's so exciting to watch, and it feels a little bit different in the start of the season where you don't have that tension of who's going to make it or not, but it's a little bit of a different pressure because you want to get off to a good start at the beginning of each season. And so the tension is still there for the players. It just is a little bit different. And we enter here in East 1 with a Ricci from the left. It looks like Philip has declared Ricci, waiting on the 8-pin for Chitoy.
The Dora for Chitoy Tanyao. That'll be massive if it comes out.
Well,
they're all held.
The other 3 of those tiles are in hand and unlikely to come out here. Looks pretty secure to the right, and the one across the table is also in a shape, so unlikely we see that. Well, Tenpai for dealer now. Pinfu, potential Ipeco on the 3, so. No. And it comes right out as that is Suji to the Ricci. And so Damaten Pinfu Ipeco for 2,900. dodging the Ricci as well. It's a nice start for Sarah. And since we're still in East 1, let's go around the table. Wolfos is Sarah, our dealer. To the right, Travis is Sirocco. Across the table, Just M is Michael. And then to the left, Helm is Philip. And well, the door here is the Threeso, well, the winning tile from the last round. And Sarah has an excellent start for Tanya, Pingfu, Dora, 1 or more. To the right, we've got nice shapes in the Pinzu and Manzu. In fact, this hand is very close to Tenpai as well.
I find it
Across the
interesting that they threw away the non-pair and that's their seat. So I'm just trying to figure out. I'm scratching my head a little bit, but there's possibilities to do something else with it.
Oh no! And then you draw the third one. That's so unlucky. Yeah, we see Tadashi. So that must have been a pair in hand. And, you know, it could be one of those things where you're clicking one of your honor tiles, you just grab the wrong one by accident. I know I've certainly had that happen to me on not just once. Across the table, Michael is aiming for perhaps a Tanya, perhaps just a Ricci. Wants to make use of that Lonely Dora, Threeso. And then to the left, there's another Dora in hand. This could be a Ricci, although Pinfu is harder to get unless you can fill that penchant first. I guess you don't even need to fill the penchant necessarily if you can draw around that 3-4-4 shape. But there it is. There's the 7. Declares Ricci, waiting for the 3-6. So Ricci, Pinfu, Dora, 1 or 2.
Fight, depending on what Tenpai she gets.
Yeah, very wide. Here you can call a lot. And I would imagine she would definitely call if something comes out. Oh, that works. You can drop the 8 pin here. Does declare Ricci.
So, yeah.
Ricci, Pinfu, Tanya, Dora, 1. And the 7 mon is Genbutsu the Ricci. So I know some players like to Dama when they've got that chance. Would you Dama here or just take the fight?
Oh, I'm dealer. I would just Ricci.
Yeah.
I would be sad that I didn't get a Sanshoku, then I'd Ricci.
Well, we see the Tsumo on the left. So Ricci, Tsumo, Pinfu, Dora, I believe was the hand there for 5,200. Plus the Homba and the Ricci sticks. So all in all, a pretty nice pickup for Philip, who grabs first place as we move into East 2. Travis's dealership also creates starting hand here.
Khan.
Khan to the right. Well, that's early. And Michael's actually Ishan 10 already. 2 discards in, so that makes sense to call the Khan. Reveals the 5 pin to be Dora. And, well, Michael's the only person who has that 5 pin, but it doesn't really work with the hand in its current state. Across the table, 2 quick calls. We see the West, which is Yakuhai for Philip, and followed by the 1 pin. And that hand is Ishan 10 as well. Can call any 1-4-7 so for Tenpai. And here's the South. Michael calls it, grabs the Tenpai himself. Will be South only, but there's some extra Fu from the 8 so Khan, as well as the Anko of the 2 Mon. And we see a fast run here, 150 only. Almost unfortunate that was all it was, just 1,600 points.
More of a decision to speed it up, I guess. With the West player making 2 calls as well, it's gonna kind of move it, I guess.
Right, you kind of wish the Dora indicator was the East like it is now. As we see South is our Dora, no one has it. And a fast call to the right from Philip already, who is looking to speed things along again. I guess when you're in first place, that's a totally justifiable action. Has the shapes to do it. Our dealer, on the other hand, has reasonable shapes as well.
Uh-oh. Oh, doesn't Khan. Okay.
Yeah, is willing to call but not reveal any extra door indicators for other players. Perhaps if he was a little bit closer to Tenpai, I might think about it. But you've opened yourself up.
2 Shanten with a call is can really lead to bad things.
Right.
That is Tenpai there on the 7 pin.
Does not declare Ricci, as there is the opportunity to make Tanyo and Sanshoku with the draw of the 6 mon. Also the opportunity to make Pinfu and Ipeko if you draw the 5 pin. There's some pretty good upgrades here. I wonder how long Sarah will hang on to this Dama state.
Well, Sarah's revealed a Dora now to the table. So Nobody's at least called it.
リーチ
And maybe with that in mind, chooses to declare the Ricci. Feeling, okay, it's probably safe. If somebody needed the south or could you have used the south, they would have called it. I don't think there was any hesitation either, so less likely that someone's holding on to a pair. But we see a call from Philip, who grabs Tempai. 6-9 pin is the weight. Much stronger here, as we can see 3 of the 7 pins are being used in hands. Only 1 of those left in the wall for Sarah. However, 6-9, 4, 3 of which are the 9 pin. And those are more likely to come out, of course. The one unfortunate thing is that Sarah's pawn is really making it look like a Pinzu weight. A little bit harder to see that tile from the other players.
It is a Pinzu weight, but it's just not very good.
And we can see
it is making it so the others don't want to come out at all.
Right, Trav is hanging on to that 9 pin. In fact, Philip leaves Tempai upon drawing the 5 pin. Not willing to fight with a 1-on hand. And probably feeling pretty good about that decision to not con as well.
ズモ
Oh, there's the Tsumo. The last 7 pin comes out. No Ura, but that will push Sarah a little bit closer to first place and move the dealership along to Philip. And as we progress forward, Philip starts with an Anko of the West Wind. So we'll be aiming for a Ricci here. Just needs to fill in some of these other shapes. To the right, Sarah has a couple pairs. I see one.
That's the important part.
Right, 1 mon in hand. So want to find Tempai as quickly as possible there. Across the table, we've got also a Dora, but that's a little bit more lonely. Has some awkward shapes. However, the blocks are there to be improved. And then to the left, we have a pair of Hatsu, and that hand looks reasonably close. Ooh, drawing the Anko is excellent. Now you're Ishantem. Even San Anko chance if you can draw into the 4 pin 9 so or Hatsu yourself.
ポン
Unfortunately, the Hatsu does come out and is called. And chooses the Shampon weight. I wonder if Michael will be willing to switch this up for a Toy Toy should he draw one of the 6, 7, or 8 mon. It is a fairly early Tempai. Also, if you Tsumo the 9 so you get a little bit of a Fu upgrade. Oh, Khan? Khan? Yes, there it is. Oh, and reveals the 9 so to be Dora. So that is huge. This hand just got a lot more expensive. And no hesitation on the 7 so discard either. Not revealing to the other table that the weight might be around that tile. At this point, no, you are not thinking about switching to Toy Toy. You will just grab your tile as it comes out.
I don't think you'll leave Tenpai at all now.
And now it's Sumo on the 9, so you're not even thinking about the Fu. You've got Mangan.
Yeah, and I think it would have been a little more comfortable probably for Michael to take that Diamond Con from the Ryanmen weight instead of the Shabo, but in any case, it's worth the attempt.
The other 2 9s so still in the wall. And one of the 4 pin is left in the wall. Oh, another Con! Oh my. Well, that reveals the 4 mon to be Dora, and that is in the dealer's hand. Look at that. 4 of them. Sorry, 3 of them, and the 4th is to the right. So things just got really exciting here with 3 players able to declare Ricci. This might spell trouble. Things are heating up here.
Yeah, those tiles that are left are still out there. Both the 9-sos have not come up yet, and the last 4 pin isn't in anyone's hand either.
Oh, there's a Ricci on the Dora. What is the weight here? 6 pin only. It is safe to the hand to the left. 2 are discarded. The other 2 are in hand. Oh, the 4 comes out. It is safe to the Ricci, and unfortunately, that will deal right into Michael's hand. There's enough food there to make that a Bongon. And wow. Con for Flo, I guess. Con for Dora, con for everything.
Con
And
for
Michael.
Foo, that's what it is. No
Con
Bongon
for
without the
Foo.
Foo.
And there it is. We've got Michael who snatches first place off the back of 2 huge cons. And it is Sarah's dealership now. Ooh, starts off with a pair of Hatsu. Has reasonable shapes. Can make 3 calls into Tenpai here. To the right, we've got more Tanyao-esque. Hand just looks a little bit weak here. Need to draw a little bit better to make Ricci. Across the table, Michael with the early June call now pairs up the East. Unfortunately, we are no longer in the East round, but there's opportunity for Honitsu here, or Toy Toy, or a number of other things. Would be completely satisfied, I'm sure, to just win with Junomi, of course. As the door is drawn to the right. Still not usable yet, unfortunately for Travis. And then the last hand to look at is to the left. We see Philip with Tanyao shapes, the ability to incorporate the 7-pin door, of course.
Pretty callable, too. I'm trying to decide if it was me playing this hand, if I just tried to go for the Tanyao Nomi to get back into first.
Ooh, kind of rough choice for Michael here. That does fix your Kanchan, but that means you have to drop Dora, and Philip says, well, if it's a Dora that you're dropping, I guess I'll call for Tanyao. And still a lot of calling options here for Philip. You can grab the 3-so, 5-so, 7-so, 8-so, 7-mon.
Yeah.
All those will give you Tenpai.
And some people might think like 1 or 2K here is not really a huge deal, but if you win it quickly, it also deprives Sarah of her dealership, which doesn't have another one.
And that is actually a pretty big deal for Sarah. This is Tenpai. Tanyao Dora 1, waiting on the 7-mon 8-so.
They have to come out from people's hands, or else.
Oh, and there you go. Yeah, it did not fit super well into Travis's hand, and that will deal in. That's Sarah's probably not. Okay, she's actually probably not happy about losing her dealership, even if it does put her in a temporary 3rd place because it's still so tight. But at least you weren't the person to deal in. And we move forward to South 2, Travis's dealership. And this hand looks nice. You just feel the Kanchan. You're looking at maybe 2-3-4 Sanshoku. Although right now the 2-so is acting as the pair in this hand for Tanyao Dora 1. Even Pinfu you can draw into the 3-pin. Ooh.
Each.
This is a little bit more awkward. It's Tenpai, and does choose to declare the Ricci here. Would you Ricci this? It's so awkward because you've got some improvements. You could even drop the 2-pin. And
I mean, the best if you want to not take the Tenpai, it's probably better to not. If you don't want to if you want to dominate, you're probably better off just not taking the Tenpai. But you can, as the dealer, again, you can just go, because the big upgrade here, weight wise, is drawing an 8-pin to make a San Menchan, but then you're free 10.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And as it is, this is Ricci Tanyao Dora 1. It's already 77.
And it really does put the pressure on everyone else to move around your hand.
And some players, will see an early reach and think, no info, I'll just push. Although it is dealer reach, so a little bit less likely to do so. We do see 3 of the 3-pin in the other player's hand, so only 1 remaining in the wall here. And it's so awkward for the other players. I guess maybe Sarah has the best chance. She's Ishanten. No one else really the sparkling chance. Well, I guess this is Ishanten for Philip. Oh, no, chooses discard the pair. There is Nakasuji 6-mon, but the weight Nakasuji doesn't necessarily work with such an early reach.
Plus, it's right next to the Dora, which would allow you to get the value to justify you taking a bad Ricci.
Right.
Even though a dealer can take any bad Ricci they want, really, or that early, and have it be positive EV.
Oh,
there it is.
There it is, the last 3-pin. This is going to be huge. Ricci, Tsumo, Tanyao, Dora 1. Wanura doesn't change the value. It's 12K, 4,000 all. and Travis jumps into first place. And so now we've got a really tight battle here as we enter South 2 repeat 1.
Dealer hand is already 2 Shantem with a Dora, so...
Oh, but there's a faster hand to the left.
I didn't see that. Okay.
Sarah, double reach. And it's just double reach only, waiting for the 3-pin, 6-pin. But that's actually a decent wait for, such an early hand, although those middle tiles are less likely to come out. And Trav is like, nope, I want out. West wind, west wind. Oh my, so let's see here. The Dora is the 6-0. That's not in hand. Sarah says, the 3-pin worked so well for you, Travis, last round. I want a little bit of that as well.
1 3-pin left. There was 1 6-pin left.
Oh yeah, really good point from Max in the chat. There was another option for this Ricci. You didn't have to choose the 3-6. The Pei Tonki was quite exciting as well.
Oh yeah.
However,
it happened so quickly. I was looking at the other hands, but I didn't even get a chance to notice the options. But yes, that would probably have come out. Well, I'm pretty sure that would have come out already, but that came out there.
Yeah, as it was, the discards, just nothing but Pinzu, make the Pinzu look a little bit safer. That was not indeed the case. And
I think if you pay Tonki that, you may have had a chance at Ipatsu if someone had one in their hand.
Right. And in this case, it was double reach Noe. There's no Ura. So unfortunately, not as expensive as Sarah was hoping for, as she's still in 4th place, even after the direct hit. And so we move into South 3, Michael's dealership. This is a chance. You've got a door. You've got a Hatsu pair. You are 2 Shantem. Shantem. Of course, you would love to draw around that Dora.
You've got a Dora that's not being used.
Yeah, and for that reason, in fact, just drops the 9-8 immediately. Is going to force use of that door if at all possible.
It is kind of a bad shape, and this is better. The Dora may still be coming out, but at least this is all good shapes remaining now.
Yeah, some people might drop the 2-so in that position instead, but this, in fact, gives you Tempai right away. And with that door coming out, the other players have to be a little bit suspicious of at least Ishanten. It is, in fact, Tempai for Michael, waiting for 5-8.
It's 5 tiles remaining. All of the extra ones are in Philip's hand.
And of course, it's just 1,500 here, but it's a start. And looking around the table, we see Ishanten, nope, Dion Shanten across the table for Sarah. Now Ishanten.
If Michael draws another 3 or a 4-so, I would be sad about that 6-so and the Ryui-so.
Oh, you're right.
But I mean, half of those tiles weren't there at the beginning of the round, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we saw the Ryui-so when there was like 8 or something like that.
That's a good weight too. Oh, that's interesting. I would have cut the 2 there for the wider weight.
6, 8, 9. So
6, 8, 9. So yeah.
It's also a little bit awkward because we can see both of the 2-pin, so only the 5-pin remaining, and that's close to Dora. You're also not expecting that the 2-pin would deal into the dealer after having discarded the 3-pin. This does guarantee Tanya, though. Unfortunately, 8-pin comes out and deals into Michael's hand, who picks up an extra 1,000 from that Ricci. And in fact, with a direct hit, moves into first place just barely by 800 points. So mission
did guarantee Tanya, but with the 3-sided weight, if you do get the 9, you just get Pinfu anyway.
Yeah, that is an equivalent exchange then.
So and on the 6, you'd get both Pinfu and Tanya.
Yeah, it does seem like the other weight was slightly better there, as we see Michael with reasonable shapes his hand as well, and a Dora that is extremely usable, that being the 5-mon. To the right, reasonable Pinzu shapes can even make an Itsu potentially, and fills in the 5-7-9 Diankan. So that hand is Ishanten now. Across the table, we've got also a very fast hand, Ishanten already here. Now that you've paired up your 8-pin, it's very wide. can grab some Pinzu tiles or Sozu tiles for Tenpai here. You could draw another Dora, and maybe you think about hanging on to that. Nope, throws it right back. And to the left, we've got Travis, who is aiming for perhaps even eats in the Sozu this time. Would, of course, love to draw the 5 Mon to finish off that 6-7 Mon shape. Zaren does hang on to that 1 Mon over the 7 pin. Perhaps thoughts of Itsu there as well. And looking at Michael's hand again,
リーチ
similar situation where you've got that door, you want to use it, but now that you've held it into the second row, you've got to worry about it. Oh, I guess Sarah has discarded it already, so it is safe there. As we see Arichi from Wolfels. Arichi Pinhu Dora 1. Waiting for 5-8 Mon. 5-8 So. We can see that there are only 2 left in the wall. 1 of each. The 5 and the 8 So. If you are in the other player's seats, you're probably not thinking about fighting this, right?
ツモ
Richie from 4th place. And you don't have to wait long. There's a Tsumo. Richie Tsumo P4 1 and Noda, so only the 5200. Rather 1326. Plus you get your Richie stick back. And so now we've gotten to South 4, and things
It's
are
really tight score line, too.
There's a 500-point gap between 1st and 2nd. There's a 100-point gap between 3rd and 4th. Look at how tight this is.
And at the most, a 1,400-point gap from the players that are below 30K to 30K.
The battle for a 2-on hand is going to be incredible here. We can see the dealer it's got quite a collection of these Sozu tiles here. And this is Ishan done already. Just Richie Nomi right now. The door is the 7 So. We see 1 in the hand across the table, and the other 3 are on the wall. Who else has a fighting chance? There's a chance at Itsu to the right. Oh, there's a Dora. And that hand is very close. That is... I'm reading the Monza shape. Ishaten. Trying to think if there's a way to get Sanshoku out of this, but it looks a little bit difficult as right now the 6 Mon is being used as the pair. Across the table, Travis might be aiming for Tanyao here. Tanyao Dora 1 would be... actually, Travis just needs a 1K hand to grab 1st place. So you don't even need the Dora. And to the left, Ishanten there as well. Things are getting really close. Everyone's almost there. Our dealer has collected even more Sozu tiles, but
リーチ
the reach comes first to the left. With the ideal Yanmen wait, just Richie Nomi, but that would be enough to grab first. 3-6 Mon is the weight. We could see those are almost all gone. There's only 1 6 Mon left in the wall. The others are in hand and not likely to come out. Oh, unless that happens, and Travis will deal into Richie Una too. Oh, that's massive.
Oh, no.
Fighting for 1st place, ends up dropping Travis all the way to 4th place. And that is painful. And actually, Michael is the only one over 30K after all of that, so earns 20 points of UMA plus the 6.3 for being over 30K. And Philip grabs 2nd place. Sarah 3rd. Travis 4th. It's a very small 4th, but it stings just a little bit more because you were in 1st. And that tight situation at the end, I hate being in that position. Ladder matches, Armal matches, tournaments. Every time I find myself in one of those positions, no matter what place I'm in, except for 4th. I guess I kind of like being 4th in that tight situation. But any other position, I'm feeling so uncomfortable. I like fourth better because your goals are very clear. It's win or nothing, right? Or I guess you could fold if somebody else goes Ricci, but and hope that you get the proper deal in. But it's so awkward in that tight score line. And Michael comes out the big winner there. So game number 1 for this table. Looks like they've already started their second one, which will be moving forward in just a couple minutes. Given the early stage of the ARML summer season, I think it does make some amount of sense to maybe fight a little bit more. I don't know if in that position, being in first by 100 points, that's necessarily the one that is correct. But I also can't quite remember what was in hand. I suspect there were a lot of Tanyao type tiles, and thus not a lot of safety against that Ricci. And we've talked about, in fact, we saw earlier in that match how sometimes your best bet is to just move forward with your hand and try to win it.
Well, were it not for the Ura, the placement would have been the same, but then Travis would have only dropped to 30,100.
Right, so that would
That might have been the thought that this is a Nomi, but I don't like counting on a Nomi.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you from your perspective, you know that Michael just needs any hand. So Ricci Nomi, it might not even be good weight, just anything to get you over that last barrier of 100 points. You could sort of make that read, and if that was the read, it was technically correct. Just got a little bit unlucky with the Udon. But we'll see if Travis can fight back in the second game and how the other players fare as well. And it's interesting, this is the first match of the B1 division. We haven't seen any of the other tables start just yet, although I think we might have one later. Who am I missing? Oh, I forgot B1 is the big division. One of the bigger divisions. And we're into the match. Yeah, we saw the B1 a little bit earlier with Claire and Andres and other players. But we've got Philip as our first dealer, Sarah to the right, Michael across the table, Travis to the left. 4 so is our Dora to start things out. And we've got 2 of those in the hand to the right. It's Wolfos. Sarah, who starts off with a Haku call. Hakudora 2 is going to be the plan, unless you can call a third one. Right now, Ishanten. Hoping to fill in the 1-2 Penchant or the 7-8 Kanchan. And there we go. Draws the 8 pin. Suji wait on the 3 Mon. And can switch to Champon right here. Does indeed do so. Now has the opportunity to get a Mongon if the 4 so were to come out. We can see that is unlikely to happen, given that the other 2 forces are being used in the remaining hands. Could even switch the weight now to 2-5 so. Likes the Champon instead. What do you think? 2-5 so or 1 Mon 4 so? This does have a little higher upside because you can get that Mongon. And I guess if you sumo the 1 so, then you get 5,200.
In most cases, I would like the wider weight, but this board does not scream anybody's going to drop any Sozu anytime soon. So yeah.
Yeah, I kind of like this too. Now you've got the full Suji on the 1 Mon, and with 2 of the 2 Mon cut, it seems kind of unlikely that the 1 Mon is easily usable. But we see a Ricci from the dealer. Oh, and then you draw the 5 and you're regretting it so much, and then you drop it and it deals into Patsu. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Ricci, Patsu, Pifu, and there's an Ura for 12k. So Philip off to a great start here in round number 1. Rewarded with a really nice high pie as well. Has the 6-7-8 shape in the Sozu completed already, and that clears the door 7. So good shape in the Monzo as well. So we'll just hope to draw around these floaters, just like that, just with that 2-Mon draw, and maybe make Tanyao here. To the right, we've got a bunch of terminals and honors. We'll start ditching those honors one by one. You do have a pair of Hatsu, so you can call. And then around the table, let's see, across we've got perhaps a Pinfu chance there if you can draw the Tuso. And then to the left, we've got Ricci possibilities. You do have a door in hand, so Ricci door one would be nice.
本
Hatsu comes out and is called. So Ishanten for Sarah. Hoping to make back a little bit here. Would just be 1,000 points. As we see the Tenpai for the 3-6 Mon.
本
Do you see less players holding on to like safe tiles in B1, B2, B3 compared to A1 and A2?
Yeah, that's an interesting adjustment as you kind of move through the divisions. I actually started holding on to safe tiles less in A2, but if you were telling me that I'm going to need to hold onto it more in A1, I will keep that in mind for my first match. But yeah, that was like a conscious decision to do that because none of the other players were doing it, so I needed to sort of match the speed. We see Ishanten on the left here, but the 6... Okay, let's see. The 6 Mon is drawn. And we move forward into East 2. Wow. Haku. What am I saying here? Haku set already for Philip to start, and a door to boot. Could be a very fast hand here. Unfortunately, 2 Kanchan shapes to fill. I doubt we're going to see a Khan here, and no. So now a Yang Khan in Philip's hand. To the right, we've got a Dora tile and the Hatsu pair. West Wind as well. Great shapes. I really like that hand. Could be fast, and there's the call immediately. We'll probably even drop the 5 and 7 so as well as you fill in those Yamen shapes. Across the table, this looks a little bit awkward in the Manzu, but everything else looks pretty nice. Back there goes the Tuso, so we have a Yankan and nice shapes elsewhere. Could even think about calling for Tanya, but prefers to stay close for the time being, as Michael finds Ishanten. Oh, now here's a second door drawn for Philip. The play is to... Well, it's to discard the 8. So... kind of interesting, perhaps thinking about a potential 4-5-6 Sanshoku. Now the same sort of decision.
If you want to use both of those Dora, you really need to figure out where your new pair is going to come from.
Right. And if you go for the 4-5-6 Sanshoku, then you've got a route to use both of the Dora as your pair. In this case, just chooses to grab the Tenpai, throws the Dora.
I mean, not trying to greed both Dora will deal in.
Yeah,
in
does
most
damage
cases,
the deal in.
A 2 or a 5 will come out.
We see Ricci across the table for Travis. Is this just a 4 pin? Looks like it. Ricci Tanyao.
Yes.
Dora 1.
Got a 2-5 pin against a 5 so against a 4 pin weight.
Well, both of the other players who are Tenpai will drop a 5 so. And the dealer looks to be folding. The dealer hand was the one that I had not commented on because it looked so awkward. In fact, that is the one that does not find Tenpai here. Oh.
Who do you deal into? Or do you throw away the Sozu?
Oh, Sozu wow. Comes out.
Nice dodge.
And there's still a route. If you take the 4, we'll be safe. Sure. In fact, dodges altogether, so very nice from Philip. And Michael will grab the 2,000 points in the Ricci stick. Move into a slightly better second place here. As we enter East 3, Dora is the West. Dealer has one of those. A little bit of awkwardness in the Manzu. Think of that as 2 Kanchan shapes. Of course, a door pair would be nice. To the right, we see another one of the door tiles. These shapes look a little bit better, but you still got a lot of honor tiles hanging around here that are a little hard to use. So we'll probably be discarding those and hoping to draw a little bit better. And there's you see all the Sozu and you think maybe Honitsu, but then you've got the 1, 2, 3 shape already set in the Monzu, and it seems less likely. Across the table, there are Pif-type shapes, perhaps Ipeko in the upper Pinzu. And to the left, we've got Tanya type shapes. 9-pin will probably come out pretty soon here, as that is Yan Shanten. Dealer's hand, dropping the double Kanchan, thinking about it more as a 3-4, could even maybe make 2-3-4 Sanshoku. Holding onto that door, though. I wonder how long that will stay in hand, as we are entering midway through the second row. Could see it come out here. Nope. Sticks with the potential to pair that up. Really thinking hard about that Sanshoku chance.
That's the hand. Sarah's hand is what it's talking about keeping a safe tile. Like that 9 doesn't do anything for you. Yeah, the chance of it dealing in are super low, but the Haku on the previous turn is even lower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we see it could only deal into one player, but you can see 3 of the 8 pins, so it's very hard to do so. But how about 100%
It's
safe
kind of,
here?
it's kind of a bad example.
99.9.
It's kind of a bad example because it's like the 9 is almost certainly safe here.
And there's an ideal draw of the 3, so this is Riichi, Tanya, Pinfu, potential Sanshoku with the 5-pin. Sorry, 5 mon.
We only see one of those held, so
Could
in
be
fact,
a big
there's no
sumo.
way to get the Yasume right now because it's all held.
Oh, I was kind of holding my breath there for the Ipatsu turn. And now Michael. Wes is once cut. Kind of hard to get rid of it now. There's one of the 5s drawn by Travis. Looks like a fold from Travis, so not coming out. Question is, where are the remaining 2 5-mon? Only 8 draws remaining
This
after
is
this
trying
next
to
one.
find its way back and just find its way into Tenpai regardless.
1
Oh, just to clear the Riichi, so you gotta drop the West here.
Yep. Or 7, wait, that is 4 is gone. The 7 is gone. It's 2 in hand.
つも
Oh, and there's the Tsumo. All right, how big is this going to be? Riichi, Tsumo, Pif, Tanyao, Sanshoku. No Ura.
It would
But
take
it's
a
still
miracle.
Hanuman.
It would take the miracle or a 2 for that to become a Baimon. So
We saw that happen yesterday or the day before. That miracle Uratu Baimon with the Sanshoku in the last hand of the game. It was incredible. Speaking about incredible hands, looking to the right, there's a pair of Chun, pair of Haku, pair of Tong, pair of 8-mon. Manhon Chitoi is what I'm hoping for. Or just like a Honitsu.
Toy maybe. I mean,
It is awkward that you've got the Dora 6, and maybe for that reason, not
this was the
dreaming
hand that
about
if
the
I like maybe paired up the 1 Mon early on, it would just cut the Dora and be done with it.
Think about going Otozuke, but I mean, it's likely that you'll be able to grab one of the dragons in the future, but not willing to open up, especially with such a nice shape. It'd be a shame to lose that early on. And now you're really thinking about the Chitoi possibilities.
Yep. So there's the Chitoi, the Dora wait, or just pairing the Dora.
Right.
The Dora is not going to be paired up because they're all held. They've been held since almost the very beginning.
Now your shapes only improve, so now calling is back on the menu. especially because the shape that includes the Dora is now a very nice one. Dealer's shapes improve with that draw, so that's Ishanten, headless right now. And there's our call for the 8 Mon.
1
One of these honor pairs is likely to come out. I guess you could also drop 3-pin, 3-pin, seeing that one has been discarded already. You could even think about Toy Toy, but that involved dropping the Dora, of course.
1
This is Tenpai, but just on the 5, so willing to take the Riichi, though, as dealer. Riichi Dora 1. 5 so Kanchan, 3 left in the
Strangely,
wall,
all
surprisingly.
lie other than the Dora indicator.
ポン
Now, decision point for Philip does choose to grab the call, has 2
The
tiles of safety.
Genbutsu, yeah. The Genbutsu are really easy to throw. It's more a matter of what's going to happen after.
Sumo.
Oh,
Ooh, that call
Where's
shifts the
that?
draws. And now we have Riichi Tsumodora 1 and an Ura to make that Mangan. Big win for Travis. And now we've got a fight for first between Travis and Philip. Dealership continues. Reasonable starting hand for your dealer as well. You would love to draw a 2-so, well, 3-so and a 2-so. Maybe even think about 2-4 Sanshoku. Pinfu's on the cards as well. Tanya, perhaps. To the right, we've got... Oh, I guess that's where the Dora is. 2 of those. It's hoping to make Riichi here. Even call the last Haku. Did Philip not have the pair at the beginning, at the second discard? I didn't see.
I'm assuming no, just because that seems like something you just snag it and run.
Right. And
Especially with the Honba. I mean, it's still East 4, so it's early, but with that, if you even want Nomi, if you didn't have the Dora at all, you go into the lead
right.
with the Honba.
And you're also stopping the dealership if you're direct competition, so it makes a lot of sense to call there. Well, at this point, if the fourth one were to come out, then I'm sure that would be called. Across the table, this hand is approaching Tenpai. 2 away, it looks like. You have that awkward penchant, but there's a Dora in hand. And then to the left, we've got reasonable Pinfu shapes here. Potential for Repeiko as well. And even Tanya. And 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku.
リーチ
Oh, but Tenpai found across the table first by Sarah. Riichi Dora 1, waiting on that 3-pin. 3-pin feels like it's been the wait a lot today. You see only one left in the wall. Travis starts with the Suji 7 Mon, has a pair of those to discard, and can still find a way back into Tenpai here as well. There's the final 3-pin, so all in hand. It'll just be a matter of, will one of these players discard it? A little bit of a backfire there. Michael would be in Tenpai if the 7 Mon was retained in hand. Instead, just working around here, trying to find another route. And perhaps the person with most incentive to push
1
is Michael, and in fact finds Tenpai here. So Riichi, Tanya, potential for Repeiko on the 6-so. 6-so is Genbutsu to the Riichi as well as the 3-so. To the first Riichi, that is. You can see there are 2 of the 3-so left in the wall, and 1 of the 6-so in the wall. Oh, there's the 3, but that's not going to come out of Philip's hand just yet. Monzu look pretty safe so far. So plenty of options for Philip to fold with. Now that the 2 has been discarded, that chips off the final of the 2-5-8 Suji. A little bit too hard for Philip to make a hand here. Where are the final tiles? We know 3-pin isn't coming out of the wall. There's only 4 left. This is your last chance to Tsumo and does not find it. So it looks like we're heading to Yukioku. Sarah and Michael grab the 1,500 points. And that will actually push the dealership forward, so Philip, our new dealer, Dora is the Haku. We see one in the hand to the right, one across the table. Dragon Dora, always a little bit awkward.
I keep looking at the middle of the board and thinking, oh, the scoreline's still pretty close, and the points in the middle make it so anybody can get over 30K. But it's only South one. This feels like it's been a pretty long game.
We have seen a couple dealer repeats. That is true. And, with the points in the middle, you'd think, all right, how can I build a fast hand and grab an extra 2,600? Unfortunately, nobody here looks super speedy, except perhaps Toyman. But Michael...
Tony has Ishanten for Chi-Toy, and that's all we've got.
No, I'd almost gotten there. But yeah, Chi-Toy also kind of awkward. Potential to make Tanyao and Gianpeko, though. That would be fun. In fact, if you draw 3 so here, do you even reach? I think you maybe just drop 1
With
so.
the points in the middle, I'd Dama because you're getting a Tanyao, and I'd just take the 3,200 and the 2,600 in the middle if it came out.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's like earning a dealer 3 on hand.
Then if you draw a 5 or an 8 mon, you're Gianpeko.
Exactly. Two away, across the table still, but wait's super wide. Ishanten now. Probably thinking, is there a way I can make 456 Sanshoku? And the answer is probably not without some maneuvering. Of course, 3 mon, 6 mon would be the ideal draw over there. Hand to the right has just been so awkward this entire time. Finally got rid of all of the honor tiles and some of the edge shapes, but still so far away. Dealer now Ishanten, however. Hanging on to the south. Should be pretty safe against this board. Tenpai, do you reach?
Reach.
Yes. No tiles left in the wall for this Ricci.
I was going to say you're reaching here for a K10 payment because there's no way you're going to increase the number of points in the middle.
Makes it a little bit more attractive for the other players to push.
A Forza looks so bad, though, here.
There's almost no information. So middle tiles look in general.
And we saw Travis put the Nakasuji 6 mon out of the hand and fold the Ishanten, but that's about everybody else is just throwing safe tiles.
Yeah, I guess you could have started with the 1 so there, right? And maybe fought your way to the Chi-Toy Tenpai. But finds the no 10 payments, 3,000 go Phillips way, reclaims first place. And there's now 3,900 in the middle. Who's got the fast hand? I'm looking to the right. It is Dian Shanten.
Yeah. We got the problem with the Haku being the door indicator, though, so there's only one left, wherever it is.
And the West isn't exactly
West
callable without the Haku.
So yeah, it's pretty hard. But given that the points in the middle are the same value as an average hand right now, it's...
Dealer is kind of progressing, filling the penchant shape. So it's getting pretty close. He also has the Dora Hatsu, which might slow things down more than anything. Oh, there's a Haku. All right, this hand just got fast. Ishanten, willing to call literally anything. I shouldn't say that. You don't want to call the 4-pin or the 2-pin or any of those tiles. Any of the uncompleted shapes, willing to call. Across the table, we've got chance for Pinhu here. Probably going to end up getting rid of this 1-1-2 so shape.
That is Tenpai on the left there, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh,
no, it is not. Never mind. There's no pair.
The Ishanten.
And it's Ishanten. If they pair the 1 or the 2, they can choose to do Ipeko and Bidama or
Ipeko awkward because of the discarded 7-pin, but you'd take that, I think.
リーチ
And here we go. Tempai does choose to declare the Ricci. 6-9 is the weight.
リーチ
It's a pretty reasonable weight, but leaves you
4-7.
vulnerable to a chase. And you said 4-7?
リーチ
4-7 Mon across the table, and another Ricci for 5-8 pin.
I wonder if you're willing to drop the 9 comes out immediately. And wow, Ricci, Patsu, Haku, and Nobunaga. 5,200 plus the 3,900 means you got Magon plus.
And 2 more Ricci 6. It's
And
12,000 points.
Wait, that was what? Ricci, Ipatsu, Haku for 5,200.
5,200.
And with
Plus
a 6.
6,900. Because you're getting your own Ricci stick back, but in
Right.
the total it's a Sensib. So it's it was 12,100 points.
Earned more from the sticks in the pot than from the hand itself. And that was a 3-40 hand. Incredible for Sarah. That actually shoots her all the way up to first place by a significant margin. And a reasonable starting hand as well.
I don't blame anyone for trying to fight.
Oh,
for
absolutely
those,
not.
For those sticks in the middle, though. I mean, they all had Ryamen weights.
リーチ
Well, Tempai to the left. This is just Chitoi. Ricci, Chitoi, waiting on the 8-pin. And Philip spent a little bit of time thinking about that, probably deciding, whether to drop 4-pin, and get Ipeko and Shun, perhaps. But chose just reach early. Maybe even thinking about waiting to switch up the weight. But this certainly puts the pressure on the rest of the table. Oh, 3 Dora now drawn to the right for Michael, and now you kind of want to push. Starts with a Suji 8 Mon. 2 tiles away from Tempai. One should be safe. Across the table, that is probably not going to make it. Still holding out hope, though. I guess if you're Michael, it's not like you have anything super safe here except for the door itself. Haven't really been tracking what's come out. I guess now the Monzu are safe. But now you're Ishan 10, so you should push the 2 anyway. Starts with a 6. And Travis now Ishan 10 as well. If he's willing to drop the 3-pin.
One of these value judgments going on for Michael, I'm willing to bet, because it's like, I have all the Dora. How much value could that hand possibly have? I mean, you can get surprised, but it's normally a
Right.
reasonable thought.
Early reach 2 could just be someone trying to put pressure on the table with a Richinomi or something like that. It could even be like a Tonki weight on the door, in which case you're extremely happy to fight, knowing that you have the remaining 3 that will never leave your hand.
Interesting, because with no calls on a table, South has the high tay as well, so...
Oh, there's the 8.
Uh,
Was unwilling to drop the 5-pin and chooses the 2-so pair. So it looks like we'll find Gyukyoku safely. Well, that was really tense, and I'm sure...
it was quite
Here.
a dodge there, too.
Yeah, if you're Michael, you draw that final tell. You're like, I could have been Tempai. Oh, never mind. This was correct. Right, here we are, South 3. Michael's turn as dealer. Needs to find something here. Starts with the pair of East Wind. 2 away from Tenpai, right from the second discard.
Home.
And let's see, early chew call from Philip. Of course, Philip here is just barely behind Travis for third, so even 1,000 points would be progress. Also has a Dora in hand. Compare that up to make the hand a little bit more expensive. Kind of interesting, kind of expect Travis to hang on to that Dora as there's a lot of pairs to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's actually Chitoi Ishanten. So, of course, you'd love to grab another Dora for Tenpai. Let's see what's going on to the left. Pretty normal things, it looks like. Might end up discarding the 1-2 shape, depending on what comes. Oh, there's a Dora draw for Travis. Chooses to discard the 7 so for now. Damaten for the 6 pin.
Damaten for 6,400 plus the 1,300 in the middle, 7,700, which
Would
is definitely
be-
enough for first place going into all last.
Yeah, and probably we're hoping to switch up the weight. We see Philip also calling Ishanten now. Oh, East Wind. That looks reasonable. Not been discarded
East.
yet. But chooses Torichi here. And now Michael. Also Ishanten. If you run out of safety, you might try dropping the East-East. But has all the incentive in the world to fight. I mean, it's even reasonable to go Atozuka here for the East.
The worst thing you could decide to do is drop a ton for safety, thinking it's
Right.
fine. But unless you have an Anko, but then I would just take the Tenpai since your dealer.
Here's that tough spot. Chooses the
Sumo.
4. Oh, Sumo. Anyway, it does not matter. Travis with the big win reached Sumo Chitoi Dora 2 and Ura 2 for the Baimon. Oh my goodness. And well, we know who's in first now. Travis with the huge win on the final East of the in the wall. Travis now 15,000 points ahead of everybody, or ahead of second. And
Home.
oh, that just hurts to be Michael. You were the dealer, so you ate the biggest penalty there. And here we go. Travis is the final dealer. Of course, does not need to win this hand, but has been given an incredible start. Could call the East as it would just be East only here. The door is 3 Mon. See one in the hand to the
Tenpai?
right.
Yes, that is Tenpai. Didn't take it. Would
Oh,
have
yeah,
been
you're right.
8 so 9 so Shabo with Adora. So that Richidora, I guess, somebody deals in is not going to be enough.
Running through the score calculations. Does have
Kang.
oh, there's a con. Now you'd
Quite bold from
probably
first
take
place.
yeah. Well, Travis really feeling good about that last win. Wants more out of this game.
Sarah choosing to shift her weight towards the center with that that 2-pin cut potentially loses the Sancho.
Each.
Oh, would have been Sumo, but now declares the Ricci. 4-7.
It's a 4-7, but it's not a 4-7 you like to get normally in a game because you're holding 3 of them.
You can
But with
see
that
there's
con called and the Uradora, you just try.
Mhm.
Definitely just try.
3 left in the wall.
Sumo.
Oh, it's Sumo.
Oh.
Just eat pots Sumo. That's all you have to do.
Symbol, Dora. It's Mangan at least.
Ura-san! And there's your Hanuman. And that won't
It's not,
be enough.
It's not enough. Thankfully, Sarah hangs on to being above 30k.
Well, just barely, but oh my goodness. 2 massive hands to finish this off here. I'm so glad we chose to pull this game open because there were some incredible hands. Travis claims the first place, plus 27.4. Philip with that final hand win, grabs second place plus 13.7. Sarah barely maintains the position over 30K with a positive third. And just unlucky for Michael to finish negative 42 in that game. A bunch of sumos down to fourth place. And after 2 games, we see Philip grabbing the third place now, and Travis also fourth overall in the early standings here in B1. All right, well, we have seen a couple games from this table. How about a B3 match? I'm seeing that one just started in B3 just a couple minutes ago, so we'll be entering a little bit into the first round, perhaps even East 2, but it should be a fairly fresh game. And the players that I'm looking at here are Steven, Christine, Jeff, and Julian. There is one name I think that I recognize and 3 names that I don't, at least from the previous season. I'm so pleased that we get to commentate on the B3 tables. So many new players who I'm really interested in seeing. The play styles, the strategies. I do recognize one of these names, however. Out of all the Tenho handles, Evil Taxi is a name that I've seen before.
That is Jeff, and I played with Jeff a few times recently in Bennett tournaments and such. So
very cool.
We shared an Airbnb for the Montreal Open. So
that's awesome. So you'll know Jeff pretty well then. Any thoughts on play style? I know the players have already started their match, so they won't be able to benefit from this information, but I'm kind of curious. I'm sure the viewers are as well. I'm sure we'll get to see it as well as we enter East 1. Christine is our first dealer. To the right, Evil Taxi is Jeff. Across the table, that Japanese name is Steven. To the left is Julian. Starting out as dealer, Christine has the pair of Tom and Adora as well. Actually, this could be a very fast hand if you can just grab that double east. I'm liking the hand maneuvering so far. To the right, we've got pair of the west, which might end up being the pair in this hand, and reasonable shapes elsewhere. Perhaps you can draw around that 6-mon to make a 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. Across the table, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. So that means Ijan for Chitoi. And then to the left, we have a pair of the north, which is Yakuhai for Juchan. We've got a lot of Pinsu tiles, but not necessarily guaranteed to be Honitsu, especially with that 1-pin discard early. Oh, and there's that Chitoi Richi across the table for Steven, waiting on the 2-mon, Richi Chitoi. Little as you know, 2 of the winning tiles are in Jeff's hand, so only 1 remaining in the wall to be drawn. But we just saw the power of declaring Richi on Chitoi and drawing the final tile yourself. In this situation, if you're Steven, do you like reaching immediately, or do you prefer to try to wait around for a different tile? I think
it's on the border of where an outer tile like a 2, 1, 2, 8, or 9 is fine. I think.
See the Suji trap set up now that the 5 has been discarded, so perhaps
and you asked about Jeff's playstyle. I'm more learning it here anyway because I've not backseated Jeff that many times so much as we've just played together.
Yeah, it is. More often than not, you are playing against the player rather than getting the opportunity to watch them play. And we see the dealer actually has found a way to Chitoi Tenpai as well. I didn't even notice that until just now. How did that happen? I thought this was going to be an East call and then chi your way to Tenpai, but instead, it's a wait on the door indicator.
Well, the one East is being held and one is still in the wall. And now we're seeing the East go for a potential Ipeiko Shavo. You can open this for Tanyao, but it would be free 10. So it's a little bit strange.
Oh, the East finally comes out immediately after being discarded from the dealer. And there's the final 2-mon. Does it look like it's leaving Jeff's hand? 4-pin was Nakasuji. Both to yourself and to the Ricci player.
Back into Tenpai.
Yeah, calls for Tanyao here. Tanyao door 2. So as dealer, it's 5,800. 8-pin 7-so. Both 8-pin held to the left and one of the 7-so as well, but still one on the wall. There's 3 tiles. Can you draw it right here? No. So it looks like Ryukyoku, unless there's a Haitei win. And that won't happen either. So both of the winning, the final winning tile remaining in the dead wall. And we're going to deal a repeat here with the reach stick, 2 Honba now. Christine with a reasonable high pie. You have Tanyao shapes. Early discard of the 9-mon, sort of leaning in that direction. Of course, you can pair up the Chun or the Haku as well. To the right, we do have a pair of Chun. And so we'll probably be calling fairly quickly there. That also would allow you to call the Dora 3, so if it were to come out. Across the table, we've got potentially Tanyao here, except for the fact that you might want to make the 1-2-3 shape to incorporate the Dora, so you might see a Ricci from that hand. And then to the left, already Peiko in the lower Pinzu. In fact, there is Chanta possibilities here. It gives up on the 789 Sanshoku,
1
but finds Tenpai instead and declares Ricci Ipeiko, possible Chanta on the 9-mon, and not Pinfu because we've got the pair of the Northwind, which of course is. Oh my goodness.
Oh my whoa.
They're going to look at this hand and think, how in the world do you get Ricci Patsumo Chanta?
Oh my god.
Uratsu.
Patsumo Ipeiko Chanta Uratu Baimon.
That's
that hurts if you're
incredible.
Christine here because you pay the Kabari.
There's nothing you can do about that. You fought really hard in the last hand to retain your dealership so that you could lose 4,000 more points than the other players. That is painful. We see here Jeff dealer now. Chun pair in hand, Yan Chanten, Dora as well. Oh, this is great Ishanten now. Could even draw into a Shampo and Chun 5-mon wait. We saw, of course, call the North to the left. Christine trying to make back some of those points. Can even con here. Could drop the Hatsu for now, and indeed does so. I like this play from Taxi here. Drops the 8-pin.
Guarantees the Dora will be incorporated, yes.
Exactly. You're going to drop that anyway. Even if you drew another 8-pin, you might have dropped it. And we see... We'll see. Oh, and then here's the reason you keep that. So that Chun can be used as your pair. Now you have Ricci Dora 1. Waiting 6-9 pin. 5 left on the wall.
Yep, 3 tiles out. Or held and visible.
And Christine really happy now that she did not call con on the North. And has that to use as a safe tile later.
Opting for the Suji push, though, instead of the guaranteed safe tile. I think we're going to see it come out now, though.
Steven draws into Tenpai, declares Ricci with East Dora 1. Waiting 1-4, so that actually feels like a pretty strong weight here. So 2 edge type weights here, but you draw the 9-pin and deals into the dealer's Ricci Dora. No Ura, so 3,900 here. And that's a little bit of progress for Jeff here. Also, starting with a pair of dragons in this round. And 2 away from Tenpai. Dora is the 4-mon. We see one of those in the hand to the right. Could see Ricci Dora there. Across the table, lots of Sozu. And just lone honor tiles. A little bit awkward. I need to step back to the hand to the right because we just had another pair up of the 9s. So 9-mon, 9-pin, 9-so. What are the odds we see a Doko here? I know they're small, but
If they got that 8 right now, maybe. There it is.
here we go. Drop the 3 mon, drop the 4 mon, pom pom.
It's very small because of the 9 Mind So pair in Taxu's hand.
That is.
I'm assuming we're still going to see an attempt at it.
It
Oh,
does
no,
not
they
call.
passed. Okay.
What it makes it even harder is the 4 is the Dora. Vormon, so it'd be really hard to work your way to that shape.
This is doing something. I don't know what this hand is an identity crisis here. It's like part of a Honitsu, part of a Chi toy, and then this Pinzu sequence.
Yeah, the 5, 6, 7 is like, oh, you can just start dropping the Pinzu now. Think about Chi toy.
And I don't think you have any other choice.
You've got all the blocks for Honitsu as well. You can just call your way there.
Pom.
And there it is. An instant call. Jeff sees the path to Toy Toy Honitsu Haku. Do you ever make reads on players based off of the speed at which they call? I think back to...
I don't know. I usually don't try to do something like that because it's...
Pom.
Like, I have to know the player, like, their relative speed.
I think back to an IORMC match that was played in which the player to my right called a non-value wind faster than I could even see the discard come out. Like, it was the Toyman's discard, and then all of a sudden it was in the hand to the right. I didn't even see it come out. I'm like, something's going on here. And it was Sho Sushi.
No need to delay. Just hit the button.
Right. And here we go. More Sozu. So this hand's pretty much set. There's the Tempai. Tuso, Haku. And if you are Julian across the table, I think you're going for Honitsu too at this point. You cannot drop anything in the Sozu or even the honors. Dealing into dealer Mangan would be just the worst thing possible from your current position. The hand to the left is actually kind of close here. There's a world where you can make 2, 3, 4 Sanshoku. Unfortunately, you're not likely to be able to call for that 4, so because it's just not leaving Julian's hand. Fortunately, there's only a few tiles remaining in the wall, so even if Julian ran out of Manzu to discard, has the safe west pair and will be able to make it to Ryukyoku that way.
G.
Christine makes the fight for K10. There are some times where you can go headless here, but that might involve dropping one of your Sosu tiles in the future if you were to do that. So I kind of like this better.
No,
6.
No, the 6 is safe, though.
Yeah, 6 is safe. The one of the only only so tile that you could draw that's safe. Oh, and there's the last 2 so still 1 Haku in the wall with 8 draws remaining. And there's the 4, so this is Tempai. 2 or 5 pin would actually win for Christine here, but 2 pin would be Sanshoko as well.
1 2-pin left. There's still 1 2-pin and 1 5-pin.
Actually, some more chances to win for Christine than for Jeff. 8 is not it. 1 draw remaining. I think we're safe. There's the 5, but the 3 pin comes out. And 2 players Tempai in the end. We'll see a deal repeat for Jeff, who had managed to build quite a hand. This hand looks a little bit more awkward, doesn't it? At least you've got the 3-5
in here.
Yeah, right? Just from left to right. Kanchan, Penchan, Kanchan, Kanchan, bad floater, Kanchan, and then honors. Well, who's got the good shapes? If this hand is terrible, someone else must have a good one, right?
No, I think the right is pretty good with the pair now making Tanya more likely. We have like Rian Khan pair Rian Men. So it's more complicated than it looks. If you draw a 3 mon, it simplifies really fast.
Yeah.
If you don't, then it's then it could be a number of things. 5 mon makes it more complicated.
But of course, you've got 2 of the door 4 pins, so you're set as far as value is concerned. And
Yeah, you
from
just want to
Stevens,
make this into a Tanya if you can.
exactly. From last place, even 3900s, fine, especially if you can hit it off of Christine.
Across the way is a 1-2-3 Sun Shoku, possibly, and the shapes themselves, other than those Rian Men, are just floaters or weak.
And of course, Christine probably
has-
making just Ricci here. Ooh. That could be exciting. Depending on what you draw, there's potential for a con. All right, we see the pair up of the Haku across the table, but one has already been discarded. And now finally giving up on the 1-2-3 Sanshoku. You have all the shapes that you need for Ricci. And I guess if you draw something like a... Oh, you've already discarded a 9-mon. Yeah, maybe hanging on to the 2 pin is a little bit awkward once we hit the second row, because it could be part of a 2-5 wait if somebody were to declare reach. But of course, you almost lose your door acceptance. You'd have to make your 6-7 shape a little bit weaker.
This is just like nobody drawing anything good, though. It's been a very sluggish hands. I think Jeff is currently the closest. That is Tenpai.
リーチ
And throws the stick in. Ricci Nomi, waiting on that 3-so. 1 left in the wall. Even on the right, still 2 away from Tenpai. They find...
Boom.
Oh, wow. Suji 3-so comes out right away. And so...
Tried to test this. Trusting the Suji to the Ricci tile sometimes gets you burned, and we saw there. Interestingly, they also had the Suji. The 8 pin was Suji and would have bought another 3 turns of safety on top of the original one. We're gonna see a Kokushi attempt here from Christine? No.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a pair.
It's just that the other shapes are just bad too, so
Yeah.
in a
Hard to
game
see
with
where
no
this has-
aborts, I have no problems. I have in a game with aborts, you wouldn't be able to abort, so I just try it.
Right. Well, starting to pair up some things. Across the table is also a couple pairs of Yakuhai.
本
ポン
Haku comes out as called. I wonder if
本
you think about dropping the 5 pin instead of one of those honor tiles and aim for Chanta. That was the hand on the right doing. I haven't looked at that one yet. Pinfu-esque. Potentially Peiko. Ooh, dealer's hand improves. Moves forward. Now Ishan... wait. That is correct. It is Ishan 10, but you're lacking a pair. The door is the 8. We see 2 in the hand across, of course. All the more reason to go quickly here. Here's Tenpai for dealer. Does declare the Ricci. Waiting on the 2-so. Now, of course, if you are Julian, you can see that you've got 2 of the Dora. But it is a dealer reach. And actually, Christine just fighting this. Goes and grabs the Chi of the 6 pin. Waits on the 7, so at this point, your route out of this is forward to victory, and we see 3 of the 2 so left in the wall, 2 of the 7 so left in the wall.
Again, Butsu. So if she draws a 5, so to improve the weight, she can drop the 8 safely.
Oh, there's a
Drop the 8 now and just
4.
change the weight as well.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say the 5 may become Nakatsuchi later, but it won't, because that 2 would deal in. Interesting. Julian not willing to discard the lower Pinzu, so chooses to drop the west pair instead. Can still find a way to Tempai. And there you go, but your Huriten on the 2 pin. 2 left in the wall to draw. So it's 2 versus 2 versus 3. Still haven't seen the 2 so yet. Oh, there it is. If you're bailing, you've got the 1 Mon and the 4, and we have 25 tiles on the wall.
Wrong.
Instead, creates the Nakatsuchi and does deal that in Ricci only. Not that expensive, but definitely not what you're looking for if you're Christine. So we go again. Jeff continues to build up towards Julian's lead after that early Baimon win. And this hand looks pretty nice. You've got a Dora 3 Mon. Your Pinzu shapes look pretty good. There's even potential for... I was going to say Itsu here, but might be a little bit harder than I want it to be. You can make the 6 your pair, drop the 4, drop the 6, and you're good. To the right, we've got maybe Pinfu here, maybe Tanyao. If you can drop the 1-2 shape. Use the 8 pin as your pair. A little bit of improvement with a 6-0 draw. The shapes across the table with Julian's hand look a little bit awkward. Just those floating honor tiles. But outside of that, you've got 3 Yamen shapes, so that's not too bad. To the left, we've got Christine, who has reasonable shapes as well. Good floaters, too. That's Dora. Will we see a call? No. Forcing Tanya would be kind of interesting there, but you've got the 7-8 shape. You'd have to drop the 1, so it is a little bit of a challenge, but for Dora 3, I think I might be willing to try that. Ooh, that 6 so is a nice pickup. So we're going to probably try to use the 3 Mon as our pair, which means we need to draw around the 6 Mon or around this 2 so. Ipeko would be nice. That 7 so draw kind of feels like a backfire, but I don't really feel too badly about it. I guess you could also hope to draw around the 7 as your floater instead of the 2, and perhaps that's why the change is made this way. Well, that feels like a nice draw. This is actually Ishanten for Nyanpeiko for Jeff here. You could draw a number of tiles for Tempai. Of course, the ideal one here is the 5 Mon or the 8 pin. And I can't remember the last time we saw Nyanpeiko in the ARML. I know we've had it before, but I'm really excited to see it again. The hand to the right has been Ishanten for a while, just drawing and discarding everything, hoping for a Dora 3 mod, of course. But you'll accept a 7. Unfortunately, the 7s are not coming out. Those are all gone. In fact, the 4s are sitting in Julian's hand as well. 3 of those. So that's actually why Steven hasn't been able to find Tempai. All his tiles have been used by other players. Same situation for Jeff, though. Unable to find Tempai here.
Each.
And there, finally, Steven grabs the 4 instead. Waits on the 4-7, of which there are 2 left in the wall. With 6 tiles remaining, Jeff probably willing to call into Tempai here. Oh, draws the 4. We can start with a 9. Bail yourself out 1 turn. Now you're hoping to not draw into Tempai. There's a backdoor Chitoi as well. You can drop the 5 if you were to draw 5 mon if you were to draw something good. Instead, the south is safe, and so we'll enter Yukioku. Steven, the only player Tempai. What an awkward hand. And we find ourselves in East 3. Slow progress in this game. But it is Steven's dealership we've got. Pardon?
I walked away for a minute. I don't know if you
Oh.
saw it in the chat, but I come back to home by 5.
Oh, yeah. It was Yukioku in that hand, and
Oh.
Taxi Jeff was Ishanten for Ryuanpeiko.
Christine is running it down for a Honitsu.
Pair of Dora for dealer. Definitely looks like this Honitsu is the best chance of finishing here, and there's another call. Ishanten already. And at this point, if you're Julian, you're probably thinking, I'm not dropping any more Sozu.
Good news is you don't necessarily have to with this hand. It's just going to draw the right tiles.
Oh, there's a 4, but that does not able to be called by Christine. And I've got an Anko with a 5-pin. So you're kind of getting close to a Tanyao here that can accept 1 or 2 more Sozu tiles. I think if you see like an 8, a 5-8, or a 3-6, you're probably willing to call if you're Julian. Just to try to end this hand as possible. It does not choose to call the 8, though. Oh, this is Tempai now. 7 so 9 so is the weight. Haku Honitsu. Be 3,900 unless you consumo the, well, anything, I guess. Or roam the 9. And the 9's hanging out in Jeff's hand, but will he be willing to push it is the question.
Yeah, yep, here. Any sumo is going to be 40, and 9
Right.
Ron is 40. 7 Ron is going to be just 30.
If you are, let's see here. If you're Christine here, would you... I was going to ask, would you con the 3 so? And then I realized the 4-3 so is in her hand already. Off to the side.
She had the con of 3 Zos to begin
Yeah,
with.
right.
It was this strange like 3 2 3 3 3 3 4.
We see Ishanten now for Tempai now for Julian. Can wait 5-8 with a 5-pin discard. And does Dama. With the lead, it makes a lot of sense. Ooh, and now I don't think you can drop that. Oh, wow. Okay. Just full aggression, and fortunately does not deal in, but Christine will grab the sumo of the 7 so and pull ahead into 3rd as we enter East 4, Julian's chances dealer. Oh, is that somebody saying it was dropped a couple turns early? I did miss that. If that was the case.
ポン
And Christine, of course, had been just discarding everything that was drawn, so no reason to believe that the weight would have changed. We see a south call by Christine. Hoping to move things along once again. Julian with the Hatsu pair and a Dora. Just gets rid of the Dora right away. And might even see a call here. Probably will see a call. Not called. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Across the table, we have Jeff with potential Ipeko in the lower Pinsu. Also could just be Pinfu and a number of other things. And to the left, there's another Ipeko chance for Steven, this time in the Sozu. Probably thinking, can I make Junchan here? And there is a world where that could have happened, but instead chooses to throw the 9-mon right back. Three pins, a nice draw. Chooses to chain the Samenchan shape in the Pinzu. Thinking you can call the Hatsu, drop the 5-mon, had the Yankan in the Sozu, and also the 258 shape in the Pinzu. We haven't seen the Hatsu come out yet, so it's still in the wall. Does not choose to call the 2 there. Even though the 258 is starting to come out, we see 2 of the 8s, 2 of the 5s, and a 2, but there still should be a few left in the wall. Ooh, now another pair drawn for Steven, so could even be thinking about Chitoi here, in fact. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs is Zishan 10. Now Tempai for Christine does hold on to the 7, so wait for now. We'll probably swap that out to something else soon. I kind of like the 9 pin as a weight, even though it's once cut.
No better or worse than the 7s, though, but just in sheer numbers of tiles, because you're already holding 2.
Right. Now 2 Yubifu D10, so that's going to come out. It's like a game of, can you find the right Tonki? East? Twice cut. Meanwhile, Julia and his dealer are just desperately trying to find Tempai here. Oh, there's the Hatsu. And the swap is made. So not going to let Julian have an easy route.
リーチ
And there we go. Chitoi Tempai. Clears Ricci, waiting on the presumably, okay, 4-mon.
Once that would have been a hell wait, and there's no really way to bait it out with that discard pile either.
Yeah.
Ormon is just 2 left in the wall.
Oh, but Ibatsuma on the 1. Of course, you couldn't know,
Okay.
but now Julian technically Tempai, but do you want to push the 5? Does, or the 7. Chooses the 5 instead. That's the one that's half Suji, at least. Although that is on the Dora Suji, so. Will the 8 come out? Christine not willing to push it. It is Shompai right now, so. Does look a little dangerous. It comes out from Steven instead. Oh no. Ricci, Hatsu, Noda, fortunately. 3,900. And Julian's lead increases. Oh, that's so unfortunate. Once your winning tile comes out as the Chitoi player, you feel like that was it. That was my chance. And I chose the wrong weight. I'm not going to get it now. And worst possible outcome, you deal into somebody else. You deal into the dealer, which at least gives you an extra round to try to recover some of those points, but painful for sure. I've unfortunately been on the wrong end of that move many times. It feels like more than your average player, but it's probably just personal salt leaking out. Let's see here. We are in East 4 again. Continuation 1. Julian with a reasonable starting hand. Kanchan a bit weak, but you can certainly improve that weight fairly easily. To the right, Christine with a very interesting Honitsu possibility. Technically, Ishan 10 as well, but unless you draw the 5, so you're probably thinking about Honitsu possibilities. Here we go. Here's your decision. South, delays. Given that South is your wind and it's only been cut once, I kind of like just going for it. What do you think in that position?
I would totally go for it, but South is my lucky tile, so I would just try for the meme.
Well, if you can get South, Hatsu, Honitsu, that's Mankan, so. Oh, and look at these draws.
Well, that's just if you draw like that, you don't have to worry about the South.
Right now, waiting for the
2-3 mon. I don't think
it's
it's
kind of
anything else.
interesting because you have the Anko of the 4 that you also get the 3.
Well, you just strip away the 1, 2, 3 that already exists, and you're left with 2, 4, 4, 4.
Right. Oh, Julian chooses the right side of the 357 to get rid of. There are, of course, Toy Toy and Sananko improvements here for Christine with the 1 mon draw.
I don't think that's a Tenpai you can really take, though, because the 1 mon is dead. Oh, there's the Sumo.
That's a nice 3 and 40. Moves Christine back above 30k. Within fighting range of second, and we finally enter South 1. All right.
Christine's already got a pair, Dora Acceptance, possible Itsu. Otherwise, very much looking like Pinhu if you can do something with that Manzu shape. And a little bit of maneuvering in the So.
Other hands kind of about the same. To the right. Pinhu-esque. Across the table. Ricci-esque. To the left. Pei Yakuhai-esque.
Yeah.
Ooh. Junchan? Ipeko?
I find Jeff's 2 with the hand is like it is. It's just going to be Pinhu. They have a Dora, I guess. So.
1
Oh, perfect draw.
1-4 weight.
The
Ricci
1's
Dora
still
1.
held, but the 4 is the Dora, so.
If you're going to sumo something, you'd rather it be the Dora anyway.
With nothing safe, we may see the 1 come out right now, unfortunately.
Maybe the 9.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you can see a couple more of the upper Sozu tiles discarded. Still nothing safe. You trust Suji. Oh, there's a Tsumo, and it's the Dora.
Be at least a Mangan. Yep, just a
And that actually puts Jeff in first place, moving to South 2. With a very interesting high pie. Only getting more interesting. not willing to commit 22 just yet. 6-7 shape is so so nice here.
Canvassing the board for where the 4 mons are, because that is a very wide Ishanten. If the 4 mon is acquired.
Mm-hmm. Also canvassing the board for a hand that... Oh my goodness, there's the 4-mon. As called.
Well, on a Pinzu draw for Tenpai here, it's a 5-sided weight, so...
Gorgeous. And the right doesn't look bad. Ishantem, but you've got that 1-2 pinch on the Sozu. When will Jeff get that Tenpai? Oh, door comes out. Not willing to hang on to
probably
it.
choosing that it's no longer worth holding because of the
Right.
fact that on the 3 it's free 10, and you'd have to really get a 5 to want to hold it, or another 4. Now what are we getting? Now this is getting more interesting. Now you could greed for if you drew a 2 mon, for example, you're Tenpai, but do you really take it, or you just throw the Pinzu and pray?
本
I think this early in the season, you'd try to throw the Pinzu.
Yeah, I would love to greed for Jinitsu here. So Ipeko
He hasn't
Pinfu.
drawn other than that one, he has not drawn another so tile. I mean, a mon tile at all.
Do you see the Ricci on the 3 so? It's actually completely dead.
It's completely empty. Yes.
リーチ
And as a result, though, Jeff cannot afford to spend the time to drop the Pinzu tiles.
Did get one of the 5 tiles for that 5-sided weight, and
Oh.
he puts Sumo.
Ricci, Patsumo, Pinfu, and Noda. But it's still a nice pickup. Really secures that first place lead. And another great high pie. You've got a Dora, you've got a couple Chun. The other hand's not looking bad, but just not as easy to complete. Oh my goodness, there's the third Chun. So you could even think about a Ricci here. It's a world where 6, 7, 8 Sanchoku is possible.
Getting an encore Chun in 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku altogether is a bit too much, don't you think? Oh, there, that's an improvement.
Six a little bit hard to acquire right now. Only one left in the wall. You can redraw the 3 and drop Dora. Hand to the right has managed to make its way to Ishantem, hoping to draw the door, of course, then make the Ipeko and the Sozu. And the hand across was looking really awkward to start, but still not looking amazing. Kind of turning its way towards a normalish looking hand. I think this might be one of those rounds that just kind of awkwardly works its way. Interesting move by Jeff, choosing to force that Furiten shape.
1
Probably hopes to just call into Tenpai at this point, especially having discarded the Dora. A Tanya push for Christine on the left. Ishanten now. No con from Jeff there.
本
probably fine.
Maybe still wants to reach it, but I mean, it may be. Well, that's a chance to get away from free 10. Very good.
Now a Sanoko chance even. Unfortunately, we can see that Steven's Ipeko chance is kind of locked out at this point.
Three, six, so 10 pi for Christine for Tiny Odora.
Of course, at this stage of the game, Christina's really looking to make her way to 30,000. Tiny Odora's only 2,000, but it's a start. And there we go, Tempai for Jeff to Yorichi. Does not do so. Only 16 tiles remaining. Wade isn't stellar. Tempai across the table now for Julian. Four, seven, so for just the Shah. There's the 4, and it comes right out. Yeah, just not a lot to be done there for Steven, and, well, Jeff will get another repeat. We go again. Jeff starts his hand with an Anko of 3-pin, a couple more pairs.
Home.
Could make...
I've already looked around the table, and despite his hand being not as good as the last couple, he still has the fastest hand.
Yeah, could turn this into Tanyao, could just pair up more things. That 7 mana allows you to incorporate the door into your hand. You saw a Call of the West across the table, now a pair of the Chun. So perhaps 2 Han, and if you can grab a Dora, 3 Han, move you over 40k.
We see Jeff's and Steven's hands speeding up pretty nicely. Christine's hand is just wasn't very good to begin with, and is still not really going anywhere.
Julian, now Ishantan. Would love to get the Chun first. Do you ever pass up the 2 Mon here? Try to force the Chun?
I think since you don't have a Dora in the hand, there's not a lot of value added to that. You're just going from 1k to 2k.
There's also some value in just preventing Jeff from running away with the game.
I mean, Julian still has a dealership left, so I think speed wins out over being greedy for another 1,000 points.
Sand is really flexible, but I'm not sure which direction it's going to end up going. To the Dora, 8 Mon still left in the wall. There's the Tempai. Probably no shenanigans here. Just turn the auto win button on and wait for your tile.
I think Christine did not call pawn there on the Haku. Maybe not happy with 2,000 points with a score line.
Also might be concerned at this late stage that someone's going to be Tempai soon and she'll end up bailing anyway. Would rather have the pair of Haku to save tiles. There's sort of a backdoor Chitoi as well. We see the pause in the Chun, looking around the table. Are there any out?
Home.
No. Why are there no tune out? I think I'm going to hold on to this. And it is, of course, the correct decision. Oh, there's Tempai for Jeff, and the 5 is drawn immediately by Julian. This will come out for Tanyao. Just 1,500, but you also get the 600 in Homba, and Jeff's reign continues here in South 2. Or we've got also great starting hands, so the reign might be lasting a little bit longer here. This looks like perfectly set up for Pingfu. Potentially even 2-3-4 Sanshoku. Ooh, 7 mana is a great pickup for Steven, who might be able to fight with this hand. It's got some awkward shapes, but at least we've got something to work with. And we saw Adora West picked up by the dealer as well. Even with 4 pairs, not willing to retain that in hand, as it seems more likely that Tanyao or Pingfu or really anything else will finish first. However, the remaining 3 West Dora are on the wall, and now you've picked up another pair. So perhaps Chitoy was the route.
It still can be just without Dora.
Here we go. There's another West. Christine does not hold on to that. Ooh. And now the hand, possibilities of a normal hand come back.
I think if you wanted to play this normally, cutting some pair was better there. So
Home.
Jeff is still hedging the. Yep. Okay. Hedging the Chitoy, but then chooses to open.
This is awkward, and it does indeed choose to throw the 4 right back,
Home.
given that the 2-3 sequence could only complete on the 4 for Tanyao. Going all in on Toy Toy, though. And had passed up to 2 so call earlier. You can see there's one in Christine's hand that might come out. Is very likely to come out.
All the tiles that make this hand get to Tenpai and be winnable are being held at the moment, except for 1/6. So
Home.
it came out.
There we go. 1/6 so left in the wall. The other remaining tiles are in Julian's hand. And Julian looks to be aiming for Chitoy. So the 3 so probably not coming out. But the 6 so definitely a possibility. Of course, the best result for Julian is to find Tenpai on the 6 so itself. And that will completely lock Jeff out of his hand, unless he were to swap that around, perhaps by drawing a 7 so. But unless that were to happen, probably would just continue to discard everything, because there's really no bailing from this position. Tanyao Toy Toy. I'm not seeing a very fast route to Tenpai for the other players, so really just a matter of where that last 6-0 is. I kind of like hanging on to that 9 mon if I'm in Steven's position. Maybe think about dropping the 4 so and trying for the Itsu.
G.
This isn't necessarily K10 for Christine, as there's the possibility of the 789 Sanshoku. Of course, the 4 so is safe to the
Each.
dealer. Oh, there's the Richi. And will it be the 6 of the Hatsu?
Dong.
The 6 comes out and deals in. And there's the Toy Toy Tanyao for Taxi for 5,800. The lead now 61,800. Pair of Hatsu in hand at Adora. And Julian says, I cannot let this happen. I cannot drop below 30,000. Calls the West immediately. Is desperate to win 8,000 or 2,000 to make it back over 30K. And Jeff really showing off here in the South round. Up to 4 Homba. That's not to say that the other players have been slacking. Really, the wall has not been kind to anyone. Jeff has just been able to manipulate his hand into a winning one a little bit better. Of course, we haven't seen the Hatsu yet, so no call from dealer. To the right, looks like it's going to be Tanya. Oh, you got any Peiko there as well. You could see Ricci Peiko, or given that Steven is in 4th place, probably not going to open this hand. It's Ricci Peiko Tanya. Across the table, Julian's just trying to finish off this hand. Ishanten right now. Oh! Draws a Dora after having discarded one earlier, and poses the question to Christine, do you want to open your hand for this? And once again, Christine declines.
Rewind a little bit to that Tuso drop from Steven there. I would have liked to see that held and dropping the 7 pin because there's a Sanshoku shot still in this hand with the floating form on.
Yeah, seeking value, finding it wherever you can. 2-3-4 Sanshoku would have been really nice.
The 7 pin is Dora acceptance. So, but with one or two being dropped already.
Perhaps you could even maybe drop the 7 Mon instead. Float both options.
Mm-hmm.
As it is, we find Julian with the Tempai. 8 Mon, 8 So Shampom.
Home.
And after this call from dealer, who has managed to draw the Anko of the Hatsu themselves, I think would be willing to take the room. Yeah, amazing Kanchan Phil, now Tempai. Oh no! Here we go again. Found Tempai just in time for Julian to draw the winning tile and discard it, who of course could not dodge it, being Tempai themselves. So once again, Jeff with another win, and we've got another repeat. North is the door this time. No one's got it. Jeff with a reasonably strong high pie, and nobody else. I'm not seeing a better one. I think Jeff's got the best high pie here. Oh, and a great Kanchan Phil right off the bat. Oh, there's a Kanchan Phil for Christine. So this is looking a lot better now. Gyeongkan in the Monzu, in the Sozu. Technically Ishantem. The hand across, Julian, kind of awkward, but you've got all the blocks technically. Just 3 honor tiles to discard. Just not a lot of value here. And having dealt in a couple times in a row, now you're at 25,000. You're a little bit in the negative and getting close to 3rd here. Oh, that's a good fill for Steven. So now we've got a chance. Ishanten here.
Ricci.
Christine, the first to find Tempai, though, waits for the 6-9 Mon. 3 of the 9 Mon discarded. 2 of the 6 Mon held. So 3 in the wall. That weight total would just be Ricci only. They're very good, a few very good Uda Dora indicators. I guess there's only 2 that would give you Uda-san, but
I think that might be it for Jeff with that Dora draw, unless they finds a way to wait on it as a Tonki. Can't imagine with this lead that you're just going to throw it into a Ricci, especially when that player's North Seat.
Well, here we'll see, and it comes out.
Okay.
There is still a chance to deal in if you draw into Sanshoku Tempai. Sanshoku Chance Tempai. Plug in, say, the 7 Mon. Oh, I guess we wouldn't see that, would we? Because all the 7 Mon are in hand. Or discarded already. Chi for Tempai does not do so.
But finds a way into Tenpai without dealing in there.
4-7 pin is the 6 comes out from Steven. Finally, the leadership ends. Richi Nomi is all it takes.
Richie Nomi for 4,800 with all the home Bob Richie
With
stuff.
We've seen 6 pile up today.
Yes, a earlier game had a hand with what was it, 12,100 points, but it was only worth 52.
Yeah. 69 in the middle. All right, Steven, your last dealership. This is your chance.
Definitely
you
trying for
got?
something really nice here with the first opening discards, because giving up the door acceptance and just seeing what can happen.
Just going for it all. Unfortunately, the tiles are not cooperating, saying you should have gone with the other suit. But the desperation certainly is understandable.
A lot of pair ups here. Julian's got 3 pairs on the right, but this still looks more like a normal hand with the shapes across its Chitoi Ishanten, but also could be round Peiko or other things if they're drawn correctly. And on the left, it's also not bad. A couple floaters, round men, Anko in hand already. Pair of the Dora.
Chitoi possibilities, of course, for Toypen. But we all want to see the Yanpeiko. Oh, that's a nice pickup. So this is Ishanten now for Jeff with 2 Dora. And given the number of upper Sozu that have been discarded already, kind of expecting them to be in the wall.
There's our shot at Ryan Peiko.
Here we go. 7-mon 2 pin. 2 2-pin in the wall. 2 7-mon in the wall. So the possibilities are out there.
If we see another Anko form, we may see a drop in going for Su Anko now as well.
We see Steven is actually going for it all, it looks like. She kind of far off, but dreaming big. Oh, there's the 2-pin.
The Ryan Peiko, Tenpai.
リーチ
We see a Richi. It is Richi. So Richi, Pinshu, Ipeiko, Takame, Yanpeiko. And now poses the question, 6 so safe. 2 of the ideal 7-mon in the wall. Oh, I want to see it so badly.
2 of each. 2 of each left. Kind of marching closer to this. Is Kokushi still alive?
There's the 7. And 7-pin was a push from Steven.
ズモ
Oh, throw it back.
That gets you over
Oh, that's you. Okay.
Or two.
Keep-
That gives you over 30k anyway. Well over 30k, actually.
Of course, I would never throw it back in an actual match. So what a hand from Christine. 40k now, and my goodness, it was Julian who had the early lead, but Christine with that massive hand now grabs the 2nd place, and unfortunately, Steven ate the brunt of that sumo. We move to Julian's dealership. All right, can you make a comeback now? We've seen it happen.
Julian's concern right now is they just want to get like a Mongon, basically.
Start with Mongon.
I mean, win anything first, but if
You're
you
right.
win a Mongon and get over 30k, that's great.
Yeah, first goal, get over 30k. 2nd goal, pass Christine. 3rd goal, pass Jeff. And then 4th goal, pass the dealership without dropping. We saw Dora come out early to the left. And 1 Dora across in Jeff's hand, that Dora being the red dragon, of course. And Julian's hand kind of progressing nicely here. Dian Shanten. Be Tanya Pinhu. Fortunately, a lot of those Bonzu tiles that he'd like to draw are in Steven's hand on the left. And Steven might be priced into going for Chinitsu at this point. Steven's hand doesn't look super explosive, but you do have Ipeko chance. And maybe outside of the hand to the left, Jeff's hand has the best chance of matching the dealers. In fact, with that, Kanchan fill is looking very strong to complete. There's even a chance to make 789 Sanshoku here. Of course, I'm sure Jeff has that on his mind. Now there's delay on the 7. So perhaps thinking that's less likely to happen. And there's a Ricci. Steven sees the button, hits the button, picks the weight. 8 mon. I think the alternative was the 9 mon, 2 mon Champon.
Yes, that is right.
Which I guess one of either tile remained, so perhaps just a simple 4 versus 2 calculation. It's just reaching Nomi, so just hoping to earn any amount of points and stop the bleeding. And if you are Julian, I wonder how aggressively you fight this. Worst case, you get hit with something like a Hanemon. But even direct hit Hanemon isn't enough. But maybe you just minimize the damage of a 3rd place. As for the other 2 players, Jeff and Christine, they don't really have any need to press forward in this hand. Though Christine actually kind of getting close to Tenpai here, just has drawn all of the Tanyao tiles. Has 2 draws remaining as well. Looks like she will not get there, though. And Julian willing to just bail. Christine just needs to find one more save tile, drops the 5, and we enter New Kyoku. Steven grabbing the 3,000 points, so net 2,000 gain. And it's Jeff, the big winner. First match, first Hanchan of the ARML for Jeff. And what a win. Plus 46.9. And Christine with that very nice second, plus 14.3. Julian third, negative 14.0. And Steven with negative 47.2. That was game 1 of 4. They'll probably play another match. But really nice start for the new players in the summer season. I mean, I know we talked a little bit about looking at the play styles of the players, and I guess the takeaways of from that game for me were Ju-chan gets Jun-chan, and Evil Taxi, Jeff, is a really dominant force on the board. And of course, Christine had a massive win at the South 3, I think it was, to move up to 40,000 as well. So none of the players at this table are feeling any sort of pressure, it looks like. Looks like they're just having fun at the Mahjong table. And we will begin game 2 in about 3 minutes. I know that I have run out of fluids and my throat's starting to get a little bit dry. So I'm going to take just a minute break to grab something to drink, but I'll be right back. And we will begin the second Hanchan in just a couple minutes.
Starting us off, so you can just unmute. All right, we're back, everyone, with the next game with the same players. We're starting off with Christine as the dealer. We see just some floaters. There's a lot of shapes in Sozu already, so we'll see if she chooses to go for a flush or not, or just tries to play this hand normally. On the right, we have Steven, who has possible Itsu and Sozu, a Penchan, a Kanchan. So it has definitely has some good progression options. So we'll see where that goes. Across the way, Jeff has Ankov Tone already, so his hand is callable, and Adora, so pretty good shapes. And on the left, we have Ishanten already for for Pinfu on a 3-pin. Otherwise, it's going to be some other way. See Jeff not calling there to try to make this fast. It is pretty good shapes. There's no head yet, so we have to see where that goes. But reaching this will have a lot more power behind it. Meanwhile, Julian has locked in the 1-pin pair, keeping the 3-mon pair in hand, which is a little bit wider acceptance. And then opting to just go for a safe tile with that west.
Looks like Steven here Thinking about which direction this hand should go.
That is not Tenpai, so didn't keep the pair. And now it's Anko headless. There's a few options that end up being free 10, so hopefully we get to just draw the right thing here. Still want to just fill in that Ryanmen to get the 258 Mon weight. Christine has since paired the Haku, which now has finally been drawn, but I don't know what we're going to see it come out anytime soon.
And your shapes are pretty much set, I guess, if you're Christine. Now that you've drawn around the door, you'd love to retain that shape. Would you go Otozuke here on a 3-mon if it were to come out again from Julian?
I'd probably give it a shot at this point because it's late.
Yeah, we are approaching the second row, or end of the second row here.
Julian is going to get Tenpai on a 3-mon, so I don't think Julian's going to throw it.
That's also a good point. Of course, Julian probably prefers to draw the 2-mon. Oh, but now 2-door dropped by Steven here. Even after that call, Christine still 2 away from Tenpai.
1
Really needs the Monza to come into play, but Jeff, the first Ricci here. Ricci, East, door 1, waiting on 3-6, so. 4 tiles left in the wall.
Tsumo.
Oh, Ippatsumo. Alright. It's gonna be Mangan. Unless there's Ura no Ura. 8,000. Jeff picks up where he left off in the last game. Was off to an early lead in East 2.
Dealer has a lot of honor tiles to start with.
Yeah, starts with the 8, so you already have the 5, and you're still trying to figure out which Honitsu suit to go for. I'm assuming you're thinking about making Honitsu. Draws the Anko of the West and can call the East here.
Home.
Still thinking about what to discard from here. Hedges Chanta as well by discarding the 4-pin.
It's a very, very hard dragons to match up though, because they're all held.
And hopefully you would draw more Monzu and make the choice easy. But right now, still awkward. Well, what about the other hands? To the right, we've got two away from Pinfu.
5, 6, 7
Where's
Sanchoku's in the works, possibly. You got to move the head elsewhere, but it's there.
Absolutely. And across the table, there's also good Yamen shapes. To the left, of course, the dragons were accumulating in that hand, but has been reduced to just the pair of Chun. And the Haku revealed to be a non-factor in this hand, so Steven's still hanging on to it as it's safe and hasn't really drawn anything better. Now Chanta looking like a possibility here.
1
Oh, but there's a Ricci across the table. Julian this time.
Next pin. It's going to be tragic if Taxi finds the Sanchoku Tenpai.
Absolutely. You draw the
1
5-pin. Of course, you're going to go for it. So much value. Might be willing to even push the 2-pin, but no, just bails. And this is Ishan 10 for Christine now. Two, so a little bit safer perhaps than the 4. Oh wait, Tuso is Dora. Never mind. It's a Chun, maybe? Just draws the 4 anyway.
Just wants to get the Chun herself and win Chun Dora too, I guess.
Could even
Gee.
Otozuke call here. Waits on the Chun. Oh, there's the 2. Only no 6-pin left in the wall, so it looks like Julian's going to be locked out of this hand. It's just a matter of will Steven drop the tune?
Also, Taxi is Ishan 10 again, despite all that folding. It's all free 10. Every 10 pie is free 10 there, but
Door came out, so it should be safe. The 4-pin is actually also safe from the dealer. Or sorry, not the dealer, but rather the Ricci. Oh, might
ポン
have missed that. She called that 4-pin. Oh, and then the tune comes out. I sometimes forget to check my own calls when trying to see what's safe from a Ricci. And with that final draw, we're entering Ryukoku. Christine and Julian will pick up the 1500. And we'll shift around once more. Jeff's dealership. Oh my goodness, look at this high pie. It just screams Junchan. Junchan Sanshoku.
it's almost ready-made. And Junchan Sanchok is one of those hands that you really don't have a problem with opening because it's still 3 Han, you're the dealer.
Right. Hand across also, though, very fast. Shantan already.
And the hand on the left looks like it's maybe an attempt at Kokugi. I'm not sure. Oh, there goes the Junchan Sanshoku, but it's Ishan 10 now. For just Junchan.
Of course, you're perfectly pleased with Ricci Junchan.
Yep. You can pawn this open.
It looks like it is a true Kokushi attempt. On the left. And will not be the first time that Steven's gone for that in the series. Ooh, nice pickup for Julian. And this hand is Ishanten. Well, very close for a lot of players here. Juchan is missing the Haku and the 1-mon and the 9-mon and the 9-pin. Haku's kind of running thin now, only one left.
リーチ
And there's the Ricci from Christine.
See
Ricci,
an
Pinfu.
8-pin try. Yep, we see an 8-pin try.
Hey, Suji, right? We believe
Yeah.
in Suji.
Ricci Pinfu, Tanya Takame.
Yep, on the 4. So, of course, the 1 so would also win. As dealer, are you pushing the 1 so when you draw the 2? Oh, the 1 comes out. Ooh. Just Ricci Pinfu. Cheap end. Feels like maybe one of the honors might have been a bit safer if you're dropping one of your pairs.
Yeah, if you wanted to keep the Kokushi try up, yeah, an honor would have been safer.
We see Julian's dealership now. 2 away from Tenpai from the start, so that's pretty nice, except for the fact that the ties you would need to draw are rather awkward. So instead reroutes a slightly different direction. Holds on to this Haku because you can pair that up. Your hand's slightly easier to call into Tenpai. Speaking about calling into Tenpai, Jeff on the left has grabbed an Anko of East, so you can actually call anything at that point. You have your Yaku already made. And the rest of the hands around the table also looking very good. To the right, Itsu chance. Pinfu is probable here. And across the table, that hand is Ishanten. 2 penchant to fill, though. That is the awkward
That's
part.
about the only way on the left, on the right that you don't get Pinfu is by drawing a 1 so.
Still route. You just draw the 3 so.
リーチ
Speaking of 3-so, there's the 3-so for Steven, and there's your Ricci Dora 1 waiting on the 3 Mon. Oh, there's one immediately drawn by Julian, but his hand's kind of far. Starts with the Suji 1-so, and will probably end up just folding out here. This is Tenpai. Christine takes it, but does not declare Ricci. Can switch to the 5-so if she wants. Create a Nakasuji trap. Instead, discards the safer 4-so. And now you draw Dora. It looks very hard. If you think the 2-so is safe, you might try pushing that and work your way to a Tenpai that incorporates the Dora. But looks like she'll end up folding here. To the right, though, Jeff kind of working around things. That was a possibility. Oh, there's the 3. And there'll be Ricci Dora 1 with an Ura to make it 5,200. And so Steven and Julian exchange places. We move to South 1. This game moving along a lot faster than the previous one. Was it over an hour, the previous match?
Yes, it was. We were told in chat that it was 69 minutes, 20 hands.
That is impressive. One of the longest games overall the seasons of the ARML, but certainly one of the longest of this season. I wonder if we'll have like a top 5 longest games in the ARML in the near future. Oh, we see a Hakupol, and that is the Dora. So Steven with a really good opportunity to make some points here. 2 tiles away from Tenpai, in fact. Now improves the calling chances.
Shapes all leave a little something to be desired, but they are at least complete shapes.
Shape's looking pretty good across the table, though, for Jeff. And that is a callable Ishanten as well. We are in the South round, so the South is value for Jeff there. Ishanten now for Christine as dealer. Oh, there's the draw for Pinfu. Will we see a Ricci? There is. I guess if you're going to fight, make it expensive. Jeff also draws into Tenpai, chooses the slightly safer 2-pin, well, the much safer 2-pin, but waits on only the 4-pin in this case.
1 pin is 1 chance, yep.
Steven's Ishanten looks really nice too.
Very callable, but it might end up dealing in if you choose the wrong way.
Home.
There we go. She hits the Champon, so that's safe.
3 players waiting on a 4-pin here.
Oh, could we see triple roan?
I don't think we're going to. Julian's not going to Ricci, and I can't see a play of a 4-pin against this board.
Jeff has shown the willingness to play very defensively from a position of, the lead.
Yeah. It's only just non, and it's against the dealer Ricci and a Yakuhai Dora Pon, so it's totally understandable.
And at this point, you know that both players are Tenpai. Well, of course, the Ricci, but also the Dorapon with all these Tsumokiri with the fast discards.
Where on earth the 8 pins?
Both of the 8 pins still up. Oh, there it is. Oh, no. That is the danger of the Ricci. Hakudora 3 for Steven, and that will push him all the way to first place. So this is certainly a nice turnaround.
Definitely the influx of points needed after the last game, which was really unfortunate.
Yeah, if you have an unlucky game like that, it can be easy to have a bad mindset going forward, but not so for Steven, able to turn things around. South 2 with the lead, and the dealership looking to add on to that. Has a fairly nice high pie. Would love to draw a 2-mon to incorporate the Dora 1-mon. And continues to draw well here. We saw the tune call from Jeff, and now a 2 so call as well. So this is Ishan 10. Could even be Toy Toy with very callable 9-pin 1 so. If you draw the 5 so, are you dropping the 9-pin pair? Oh, well, this is Tempai, so let's ignore that question.
If you draw the 5, so you can just take Tempai with a 6.
No, Honey, agreed. As it is, Toy Toy is certainly a completely valid play.
And considering Jeff's first game was so big, I think it would just err on the side of speed.
Mm. You see Steven still hanging on to that 1-mon, desperately wants to make use of that. Though it's looking less and less likely with the direction his hand's going. Also, if you're concerned about a Toy Toy, dropping a Shompai Dora isn't necessarily a play you want to make, but here it comes, and it's safe. And Julian's like, thank you, I can get rid of this now.
Christine just incorporated it, so.
Potential Itsu there if you pair up the right tile. Of course, you'll have some maneuvering here. Will we see a Chi? No, just draw it yourself. How about? Ishanta now for Steven.
Each.
Oh, but Julian finds the Ricci. Oh, it's almost Sanshoku. Just Ricci on the 5 so. It just come out too. Oh, Ippon Tsumo. Okay, that's why you don't wait. Oh, Udo would have been so sweet to make that a Mongon, but as is, that's a great pickup. Bringing Julian a little bit closer to passing 30k and drawing everyone else back to the 30k mark. In fact, Steven and Jeff are very close to each other, and it looks like Steven may have disconnected. Hopefully gets back in soon. Jeff with the Dora tile now locked into that 1-2-3 sequence. Only a couple good draws away from a Pingfu or another nice hand. Oh no, it looks like Steven is actually out. It has a nice starting hand too. Speaking about starting hands, look at that
dragon for Julian.
Yeah. Up to 5 now.
Steven is now back, but losing that 4 really. Oh no, gone again.
But we haven't seen any other dragons come out. Of course, there's the Chun in Steven's hand. Hasn't had the opportunity to discard it yet.
If Julian gets a Hatsu, depending on where the other dragons go, this could be completely tragic for Steven. If
Oh, he's back.
He's
just in
back,
time to
okay.
not drop the Haku.
can't imagine those aren't coming out eventually, but what do you do if you miss the first non?
Right. And there's Hudi Ten chances with a 5 pin. So here's the tune, instantly called by Julian. Here's the Haku,
Boom.
also called by Julian. Oh, there's a Hatsudran. Christine's like, why did you have to give this to me? I was so close with my Tanyao. Tanyao Ipeko, maybe. And now that's got to be your pair, probably. South comes out.
It's even a
Yes.
chance here
Boom.
now that South comes out. You can actually make something out of this. Excellent draw for Jeff. There's still 2 Hatsu in the wall.
Kind of helpful, but you've already dropped the 4 before. Will we find one of the 2 remaining Hatsu?
Unfortunate with that Dora in there as well. It's not. In this hand, you almost have to give up the Dora and pawn.
Right, right.
Calling a pawn is impossible as well.
Yeah, Jeff actually holding all the tiles that Steven needs, so you just have to redraw the 4, I guess. There's 1 left.
That is a 10 pie. I don't know if we'll see a Ricci on it given the
Yeet.
Daisangan threat, but we will.
3 of the 9 so already discarded. All 4 of the 6 so in hands. So there's actually only 1 remaining 9 so. But it poses the question to Julian, how much do you want to push this? And
Boom.
there's a 9 from Christine. Does come out. Ricci Dora, but the Uda makes it expensive. 7,700. And Jeff will grab the lead once again. Knocks Christine down a bit. South 3. Christine does not have another dealership, so needs to find another way to make value before the end of the game. Or hope that Jeff goes on another dealer run and knocks somebody else down too. And Jeff could do that. This looks like a really nice starting hand as well. Would love to draw on the Dora, or just draw another Dora. And now you are Dianshan 10 for a beautiful hand. The hand to the right is not bad, but it's not as good as the dealer's hand. Across the table, not amazing. And to the left, you're getting there. There's Ipeko chance. You have a Dora. But still, the dealer hand just seems so strong right now. You could even call and work your way for Tanya, especially if another Dora were to come out. That looks like those are being retained quite nicely in other hands. And has yet to draw a Pinzu tile is Jeff. Six pin would be ideal, of course. See 2 of those left in the wall. Well, interesting choice for Steven. Ends up dropping the 6. So maybe thinking about committing to the Ipeko there. That does also lose your pair. Okay, headless Ishan 10 now for Steven.
Yeet.
There's a 3 pin. Ishan 10 for Jeff, but to the right we see Tempai. Ricci, PvP waiting on 6 mon, 9 mon. 3 of the 9 mon discarded. Of course, you would love to sumo the 6 for Tanyao. But Jeff calls it to Tempai. Tanyao Dora 2 waiting on 2, 5. 2 is the Ricci tile as well. And 5 is Nakasuji. It looks really safe, and Christine deals into it. 5,800, and things only improving for Jeff here, who is just running away with game number 2. So earned 60,000 after the first game, up to 50,000 already in South 3. has another great looking starting hand. Ooh, there's a world for Itsu. There's a world for Junshan. Chanta. You have, of course, the South that you can call. And then the 9 pin is the Dora. See it, one door to the right. Across the table, there's one in hand as well. But as far as callable hands go, it looks like Jeff's got the advantage here. Does grab the South. Tosses the 1 pin, so not committing to Chanta just yet. Just keeping the options open for
I feel like
South,
after his
door
last
1.
dealer run, he might want to just try it again.
Right? Just take whatever win you can get and keep going. Oh, what a great pickup. Ishan 10 now. Of course, if you draw the 3-so, then you've got the 1-4 weight, so certainly reason enough to hang on to that shape. And here we go. Pairs up the 1-so. Now waiting on the 3-so for South Dora 1, 2900, plus 2 Honba. Ooh, could switch to Shampoo here, but the 2-so's once cut. Does take that weight anyway. And sets up a Suji trap for the 1. We see that there is only one 1-so remaining in the wall, and Steven got a 1-so trapped in the hand. There is a distinct possibility that the 1 might come out too. Really depends on what gets drawn here. With the 5-so draw, you might be thinking about Itsu. But you also might like the 3-4-4-5 shape. Does dream about Itsu. All right. So not dealing in just yet. If something like the 3-mon is drawn, though, you have to feel like
G.
the 1-so will be discarded. Christine makes a move, grabbing the 8 pin. Looks like it's a shot at Tanya.
There are no 2-sos left to complete this Itsu.
Yeah, unfortunately, Steven does not know that.
1
Ooh, Ricci from Julian. 2-5 pin is the weight.
2
Dora
Ricci
2.
door 2. Oh, there's the chase, but the 1's got a... Which one? Chooses the right one.
The other weight is free. The other weight is free 10, so that's probably why.
Yeah.
Because the 1-4-mon weight is going to be free 10, so saved by their earlier discard.
And this means that...
Oh, there.
4
Oh my goodness,
takes
that's
his 1, I guess.
unbelievable.
Very unfortunate for Julian to lose that 10 pi.
Yeah, such a great hand. Ricci door 2 is 5,200 minimum.
One of those hands where you have the better hand and you look at it like, I dealt into that.
Yeah, that was the last 1-so. As Jeff was even folding there. Could have been a double roan. Maybe a bit fortunate that it was only the 1,300 plus Honba. We move into South 4. This is the last round. Julian, once again, last dealer, has a Dora South in hand. A Dora South to the right as well. Be a battle to see who can pair that up first. Very close to Tempai, actually, for Julian here. But also nice Tanyao shapes for Christine to the right as well. Who really needs to build a monster here. Although I think at this point, given the score lines, you're probably okay with just making a Mangan. Even though that is not going to surpass anybody, even with a direct hit to the dealer. Of course, you'll be trying to build for more. Across the table, 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs, but now with an Uncle, I think you're just building towards a normal hand, just Ricci or Sun Uncle, or something along those lines. More pairs to the left as well, but also potential to make a normal hand there. Ooh, that 5 so is an interesting pickup for Steven. Would you have dreamed a little bit with, say, a 6-pin discard? Anko, pair. Shitoi options for sure.
This
As well
hand
as
looks like a Toitsuba all around. There are pairs everywhere. And it's interesting to see one in action from a top-down level like this.
mm,
They always just say, "Oh, so many people draw pairs when you're in a Toitsuba," but this is truly one. Like, there's everybody has. See, you got 3 pairs on across at Anko and 4 pairs over there, and Jeff has 4 pairs. So
Shanten for Julian decides now is the time to discard the Dora. You know, that always happens to me, and then I immediately redraw it. But another pair drawn for
Itoi Shantan.
Christine, thinking about calling here, but the value's just not there for it. Could end up switching to Ipeko here, so we might see like a 1-so discard. Thinking about it. No, just throws it back. Oh, and there's a pair of the Dora. Oh, that's exactly what Christine needs. That's Insta-Mongon, if you can call it. Oh, but Ricci across the table. Ricci, Nomi, but San Anko chance on a Sumo here. 5-mon, 8-pin is the weight.
G.
Only 8-pin in the wall Sumo. And Christine goes Atozuke, Ishantem.
Oh, now Jeff has Tenpai on 6-so for the Tanyao.
Christine probably looks at the fact that the 7 is Genbutsu
Sumo.
to the reach.
Oh.
Oh, wow, that's Sumo. Well,
Small Tanyao Chitoi for 6,400.
and that puts Jeff almost at the 60K mark. 2 huge wins for Jeff here. Steven this time grabs the big second. And it is Julian with third, -14.8, and Christine fourth, -39.6. And so,
As we can see from the standings on those 2 games, only Jeff came out the winner.
Jeff, second place so far in the B3 division, only to Jocelyn, who's played 4 games already. So in 2 games, has almost matched Jocelyn's score. But wow, those games had been going on while we were watching these ones. And congratulations to Jocelyn after the first set of games has completed for them. We've got 3 first places and 1 second place. So what a great start.
Anything over 100 in one session is phenomenal. So it's a great beginning.
Absolutely. Well, hopefully that continues throughout the remainder of this season. And for Jeff as well, I'm only expecting more good things at this table and throughout the remainder of the season. And for everybody, hopefully we get some sparkling games like we've seen today. I know we saw some incredible hands in this B3 matchup, but even the previous ones, the B2, the B1 games that we saw earlier were incredibly exciting and had some very interesting moments, and hoping to see more of that as the season continues. Well, I think that might be it as far as games are concerned for the evening. Did you have any thoughts, Steve, about the matches or the league as a whole?
Honestly, too early to tell for this season. We're just getting started, so we have all these players still at 0, as you can see. So the standings, people getting off to an early lead or getting behind early can quickly change. The players that find themselves like, oh, you look like you're going to demote, like right now. First of all, it doesn't matter so how many games are left, but secondly, one of those players in the middle, all of them, some of them are going to take negatives too. Like everyone can't be positive.
Yeah, we know the B3 league is one of the largest divisions that we've ever had. We can see on this big screen, we can see the top 17 players and then a big skip just to the lower ones for now. There are 34 total players in this division, and only the top 11 look like they're advancing. So about a third of the players will move forward, and it is going to be a battle as we move throughout the entire rest of the 12-week period for this division or for the season. It's going to be a battle to see who can claim those top 3 spots, and certainly a great start for Jocelyn, for Jeff, and for everyone. Can't wait to see what this looks like moving forward. Well, to anybody who is watching, if you are also interested in participating in the American Ricci Mahjong League. Of course, signups for this season are closed, but they're open for the fall season up through September 19th, I believe, is the date where you can register. And if you register early enough, you can potentially become a substitute if necessary for this season. And so the sooner you sign up, the higher up on the list that you become for possibilities to become a substitute. So do sign up if you are interested. And you can do so at our website, americanricci.org. If you are interested in watching more of what the league has looked like in the past, we have videos of older broadcasts on our YouTube page, tinyurl.com/ARMLYT. And of course, you can find us on Twitter as well at American Ricci. And well, thanks, Steve, for stepping in and for the commentary. It's always insightful. Thanks, Scott, for providing all of the technical work behind the scenes. Always appreciated. And thank you, everybody else, for watching tonight's broadcast. Hope to see you in the near future for some more exciting ARML Mahjong. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks all. Until next time.